I know it's very raw, isn't it? But the great thing about this is that you can just get the live comments up on the screen so people can get involved, which is great. Okay. Yeah, I think we might be ready to go live. Hello and welcome to the Night Stand. Hopefully we are live. Just having a little pre-chat with Alex there. Something's gone wrong because I can hear something I wouldn't want to hear, and I can't understand why that is. Ah, yeah, I do know why. Sorted that out. Okay, Alex, let's go to you for the team news because I was messing around and we have got the team news. So fire away while I set the live comments box up. Okay, apparently we can't hear Alex, which is always brilliant to hear. So let's have a. I don't know if can anyone hear Alex now? Did you have it on mute? Did you? I'm just waiting to see on the live comments. We can't hear Alex. You're on mute. Live. Mark Nosecomb. Somebody can tell us if you can. Alex, tell us the team and let's see if they can hear you. I can hear you, yeah, but sometimes that doesn't necessarily mean that everybody else has. No, people can hear. People are saying you're loud. I'm not 100% sure what's going on, but let me see if I can sort a few things out. It pisses a bit. I think I've got it sorted now, but let's just try, and they'll let us know.
Yeah, everyone's saying no, so I don't think so.
He's on mute.
No, not on mute now. I have mute turned off.
No, it's probably here. Can't hear bruh, can't hear him. Alex, shut up. No sound from Alex. Dab Mark, we can't hear Alex. Right, it's very confusing in the live comments now. Just clarify, if you can hear Mark, say yes, and then I'll get Alex to talk, and then if we can't hear Alex, we can, because some people are saying Alex is too loud, which I can sort. I know what to do with that. So that's fine. I don't understand why some people can hear everybody and some people can't. So I think we're all loud. Yeah, we've got everything now. If you can't hear him, then I'm afraid it's what I would call tough shit, because that's beyond anything we can do.
How far behind are these comments? Like, they're saying that, so I must have been muted before and then they can hear me now, but I guess the stream is like...
Yeah, that could be the problem. I know. You tell us the team again then, Alex. This is the reason we go a little bit early. No one ever watches the watch-alongs back, so don't worry about it. We'll sort it out live on air. It's not a disaster, and it's my fault really, because I thought we'd sorted the problem out from last time, but it's not a problem to fix it. So audio settings. Apparently Alex is a little bit too loud, which we should be able to sort out compared to me.
Ready?
Yeah, go with the team.
Okay, yeah, so the team, let's see if I get it right this time now, third time lucky. De Gea in net, Valencia right back, centre backs Blind and Bay, Shaw left back, Herrera Schneiderlin in the middle, left wing Martial, number 10 Rooney, right wing Mkhitaryan, up front Zlatan. So that's basically, I think, the team that we will see against Bournemouth. In terms of the Leicester game against in the Community Shield, I don't know whether we will play the team we will play against Bournemouth or just put Smalling in there to try to build up a bit of a rapport between him and Bay or not. But Yeah, it's the strongest team we could have asked for. I would like to see them play more than 45 minutes, but I understand that, like with the likes of Zlatan, Martial, Rooney, this is their first game, so they probably won't play for more than 45 minutes. But I really want to see a good performance because we got absolutely battered by Dortmund, and you can't really take too much out of pre-season, but it was still kind of humiliating. But we now have all our best players, so no excuses.
Yeah. I just want to say a big thank you to everybody there for doing a sound test for us live on air. It is your channel, and we got there in the end. I think some people might still be struggling with Alex's sound, but being as 90% of you still can hear it, then we'll be happy. Right, okay. What I wanted to talk is I'm going to tell you who won the private hangouts. We'll do that at half time. That's fine. Alex has just disappeared for a moment, but you still there, Alex? Yes, yeah, he's still there. It's just it sometimes disappears on my screen, the Skype thing, which I will get you back. Always good to have the teething problems at the start of the show. Yeah, so I'm happy with that team. I think there will be a few substitutions. We'll just have to wait and see what happens in relation to that. But oh God, we're having all sorts of problems tonight, aren't we? I can hear Alex, but I can't see him on my screen. So Tyler, are you going back onto Twitter? That's what we all want to know. There he is, going back now. So yeah, let's go. I mean, what are you expecting from the game today? Do you know anything about Galatasaray, Alex? That's what I wanted to ask first of all.
Sorry, I was just writing to Tyler there. I basically all I know about them is that they have Schneider playing for them, the person that's linked with us every single window for the past 6 years, and Memphis tweeted out about him today. So I guess I haven't seen Galatasaray's team, but I assume Schneider's starting. And yeah, that's pretty much all I know about them. I guess they won the Turkish league last season. They're like it's basically only Galatasaray and Besiktas in that league. Oh, and Fenerbahce in that league. So I assume Galatasaray won it because they're pretty much the biggest team in the league. But yeah, I don't really know much about them. We played them fairly recently in the Champions League, didn't we? And there's always that infamous game, the Welcome to Hell thing, when we went to Galatasaray, and it is an awful stadium to go to as Man United fans when we have gone there, because the stadium and like all the flares thrown on the pitch and all that shit. But it won't be like that in Sweden, and I assume it will basically be 100% United fans, because I don't see there being any Swedish Galatasaray fans.
No, I think Turkish people are banned from doing anything. You can't get a degree anymore. But just for those people who've caught us a bit late and got caught up in the rubbish at the start, that's why we went live early. Please do like the video, share the video. I know there's other people doing watch-alongs these days. Fair play to them, whatever. Do what you like. But obviously, let's get the United Stand Army going. Let's see if we can get everybody watching ours, because we believe it's the best, because we interact with you and get you involved. The team is De Gea in goal, Valencia right back, Bailly, Blind, Shaw, Schneiderlin in the midfield with Herrera, Rooney 10, Mkhitaryan, Martial, Ibrahimovic. It's not dissimilar to my starting lineup that I predicted in the preview. I think it's very similar to what Alex came out with. The things that stand out to me, if you want to know about the bench, it's basically the other 13. Was it? 13 players. No, 11 players who were Johnston, Romero, Darmian Jones, Rojo, Carrick, Fellaini, Lingard, Mata, Memphis, Young, Rashford. Looks to me like a totally different team for the second half, which I think Alex was sort of touching on. But what I do find interesting, and you can't take a lot from the preview, from the pre-season games, Alex, but what I do find interesting is a couple of the things that a lot of us, me included, didn't want. And I think you're a bit different to me anyway about this. We didn't want to see happening again. And Jose, I wouldn't say he's going against what he said, because he's got a limited squad and options at the moment, and some people have only been back training a couple of days. But you've got Valencia being played as a right back again. You've got Daley Blind being played as a centre back again. It's not really, you can't judge it till the season starts. Blind less so, because actually I would prefer Blind as a centre back over Rojo and Jones anyway. But I think we need to buy a centre back. But Valencia at right back, I mean, how many times are we going to see this happen? He's cost us a lot of goals. He cost us a goal in the Dortmund game. He's just not, I don't care what anybody says, it's nothing personal, but when it comes to positional sense, he is not a right back.
I thought that Jose, well, I'm saying it past tense, but obviously things can change when it gets into the actual season. But I thought that Jose could make Darmian, bring him back to what he was like in the first few games at United, where he was one of our best players playing right back. And it does seem weird that in his opening press conference he was saying about how he wants specialists and he doesn't want to play players out of position and players that can play multiple positions. And then he has started Blind at centre back a few games now, and Valencia at right back. But in terms of Blind, I completely agree with you. In terms of the centre backs we have going into the new season, I would play Blind over basically everyone. And for today's game, if we're not going to play Smalling, and I think is Smalling, I know he's suspended, but did Smalling even travel? I think he's injured. Someone tweeted me.
Yeah, he's injured. Yeah.
Yeah. So for today, if you're not going to play Blind, then I would have just played Twanzebe anyway. And Jose does seem to be a big fan of him, but I just don't want to see the likes of Jones playing there or Rojo playing there. So I'm happy with the team, but I would have played Darmian.
Yep, now we're all sorted. I must just explain how Watchalong works. If you're not new to it, I know a lot of you love the Watchalong, so do keep sharing the video. Aaron Grawley has. Share it on every social media you've got. Tweet it out. Let's get as many people involved in this, and you'll be quite excited about this. I did the video this morning. I said, should we have a guest on, or should we just do it with me and you on the live comments? A lot of you wanted it just to be me and you on the live comments, but I knew it was going to go live early, so I thought, great idea. Let's get Alex, and we've got Martin coming on a bit sooner, in about 20 minutes. And then what'll happen is when the game kicks off, it'll just be me and the live comments to watch it. So you're a massive part of this show. You wanted to be. You're a massive part of the show because I'm going to be watching it with you off the live comments. So that's something to look forward to, hopefully. So we're going to be massively interacting with the live comments. We might not do for the first hour because I've got guests on. Drawty Devil's just joined us as well. Be interested to get some of his comments on the game. But it's going to be massively about your comments during the game. And what I would say, just very early doors, is when I'm watching it, I'll give you my thoughts, but I'm getting involved with the live comments as well. What I really want to see from you lot is a little bit of, United Stand, we like to think we're a bit more deeper in relation to performances. We say what we think. I want you watching the game, if you are watching it, however, if you're not watching it, obviously we'll update you anyway. If you are watching it, I want to see, give us your thoughts on, how the defence is sorting out. What's Zlatan doing right and wrong? Is Rooney a decent number 10? Is Mkhitaryan doing well on the right? I want to see a little bit of tactical analysis because my points, what I would say before the game starts, Alex, and I don't know what you're looking forward to watching. I think obviously Zlatan, his movement in a Manchester United team is really exciting, even though it's pre-season. Really want to see how he fits in, whether he's going to drop deep or just play on the last man, which I hope is the latter because we've not had that before. Want to see what Rooney's doing. Don't want to see him dropping into the centre circle doing his 50-yard passes. As Jose said, he can do that under no pressure. Want him to play a proper number 10. Utilisation, great to see Mkhitaryan and Martial. Very exciting. I think they will be the most important players in our team this year. Really excited to see what they do when they haven't got the ball, because that's important as well. And Schneidlin in that anchor midfield role. I actually went for Carrick because I think it's so important to have a player who can take the ball off the back four and feed the others. I want to see how Schneidlin does in that role. So that Schneidlin's important to me. Rooney's important. Zlatan's important. And I mean, everybody's important, but they're the three I'm really looking forward to. I don't know about you.
That's what I was going to say. The biggest thing that can come from today is, for me, the wing play with Mkhitaryan and Martial. I think they're going to be huge players for us this season. Like you said, probably the most important players this season. Zlatan, I am interested in watching because people were saying about him at the Euros, but you can't judge him from the Euros when he has absolute trash feeding him balls in, and he does nothing to play off of. And it's the same with Pogba. I've seen loads of people complaining about Pogba because of how he was played at the Euros. But Deschamps played him as a holding midfielder rather than a box-to-box, which is what he actually is. So you're not playing to his strengths. With Rooney, I reckon he will drop deep, but I don't know. I really hope that if Rooney, I want him obviously to do well because if he does play well, he's a brilliant number 10 in the sense that he's a lot more, he's less creative than a stereotypical number 10 with the likes of Mata or Ozil, but he's a lot more of a goal scorer than them two. So he kind of plays as a second striker. So it just completely depends because he's so hit and miss. Before he got injured, he was doing really well and starting to score again, in January. But before that, he was absolutely hopeless. And my biggest fear with Jose is, and I was talking about this with someone at work, is that if Zlatan gets injured, every single United fan would want Rashford to take his place, or if Rashford was injured, they want Martial to take his place. But I think that if Zlatan gets injured, then we're going to bring Rooney as our striker, which is going to be a terrible move because he hasn't got the legs to play striker anymore.
Cuddly Bear says, would I rather have Schweinsteiger or Matuidi? It's a very good question. I actually read a good comment. I will ask Alex because I think you'll want to know. I read a good comment actually today. I forget who it was by because I read so much stuff. That the reason that Schweinsteiger might be going is because he hasn't got the legs to play the pressing game. Maybe there's some truth in that. Also, it might be just to do with the fact that there's a lot of disharmony in the dressing room when it comes to him, and also he's earning a lot of money. type 100 and I'll sub back. Don't lie, I have a live counter. Don't know what that means, but
he's rumoured, because I know it's in Kicker that he's apparently leaving United. Do you know what team he's rumoured to go to, or is it just the fact that he's leaving and he isn't going to a certain team?
I think if he's resigned from Germany, which he has, then I think he's going to go to MLS or China, because why pack him for Germany? There's talk of Everton and somebody else. I don't think he'll stay in the Premier League at all. I don't know. I don't want him to go. I think he offers so much. I think he's one of the best leaders in world football, and we lack a leader. But then again, as Alex said last night, we have got Zlatan now, and you can have two. We could go from having no leaders to too many. We'll just have to see. I want to talk a little bit about Pogba, just probably for a few minutes. I don't want to get into it too much because he is coming to Manchester United. But somebody, and I'm going to work off that now. I'm not going to do any more about, is he coming or not. He's coming to Manchester United. There's no way Adidas, who are our biggest sponsor, could mug us off the way they have and then him not sign. It would just be absolute brand suicide, and there'd be mass Manchester United. We'd just be going mad at them, so it's not going to happen. He will be coming to United. However, a good question, again, it was on the live comments. I need to start writing these names down because you're fantastic, and it was a really good question, and it was along the lines of, do you think when Pogba comes to Manchester United, he's going to resent the club because they let him go? I'll put that to you, Alex. My personal thought about it is I spoke about a hat-trick on the FA Cup final. I said there's a hat-trick coming to United. Van Gaal's going to get sacked, Jose's going to be the manager, and Zlatan will come to Manchester United. Got laughed off a little bit, but it did happen. You can go back and watch that video if you want. There's another hat-trick that's going to happen at Manchester United here. You've got Jose Mourinho, who everybody seems to forget was at Chelsea and left under bad terms and got absolutely hung out to dry by the club and the media. He's an injured tiger ready to bite back. You've got Manchester United, the biggest club in England and probably the world, who've been poor for the last 3 years. They're ready to bite back. And then you've got Paul Pogba coming back, world transfer record, to the club that let him go for nothing with a point to prove. We've got three people with a club, a manager and a player with points to prove. Adding to the fact that Zlatan's got a point to prove that he can do it in the Premier League, I can't wait for the season to start. So I don't think there's any resentment from Pogba. I don't think he's using us for the money or anything like that. I think he's coming back with a point to prove. And the best things you can ever hope for in life are people with points to prove.
Yeah, I tweeted out earlier that my excitement for Pogba coming back is close to the Falcao levels, and I just hope he works out better than Falcao did. But in terms of him resenting the club, I don't think he does at all, because I think if he was to resent anything about the club, it would have been Fergie for letting him go and Fergie for playing Raphael at centre mid or whatever he did, wherever he played him, centre mid or on the wing, whatever, over Pogba. But I don't think he has anything against it. I think Jose Mourinho attracts players, as we've seen. Everyone says it's about the money, and to be fair, Juventus they were offered this amount of money loads of times for Pogba. So if they wanted to, they were in no need to sell Pogba, because apparently the Higuain deal was they're playing half now and then half next season. I don't know if that's 100% true, but that's what I read anyway. So they're under no necessity to sell Pogba, but he clearly wants to come, and I know maybe Real Madrid would be his first choice. But as I said to Martin, because Martin was complaining about that if Man United isn't his number one choice, then why should we take him back? But at the moment, with how bad we are, it's completely different as under Fergie. Who would be our first choice? Likes of Rashford and Lingard, who are actual Man United supporters, would probably choose to play for us over anyone else. But no one else would. And in terms of money, people say, money grabber, money grabber. Anyone in a job position would want to take more money to go somewhere. But Pogba actually does have a connection to the club, and I do think he does care about the club, because he grew up and he does obviously have good memories with the club when he was playing with the likes of Lingard and Ravel Morrison and stuff in the youth team. Yeah,
I was just having a look there at the lineup, and it just popped into my head, and I'll throw this to you before I take some comments on the live comments. That lineup is actually, if you forget form and people being out of form and bad seasons under Van Gaal last year, and you just take the players for actually what their potential is or how they've played in the past, or maybe what we thought of them last summer, that team, we don't even have to ignore the back four, really, do we? De Gea is one of the best in the world. Luke Shaw can be one of the best in the world. Maybe forget Valencia at right back. That's probably just pre-season. We need someone to play there. Daley Blind, whatever anybody thinks, I don't think you can win a title with him as centre back. But Bailly, decent. Really, it gets exciting from there when you're just judging them on reputation and potential. You've got Schneidlin as the defensive midfielder, who 2 years ago was one of the best in the Premier League. You've got Herrera, who has the box-to-box, will be Pogba. But Herrera, if he has a good season, he can be great backup, and I like Herrera. You've got Rooney, yeah, he might be on the decline, but if he can get anywhere near his best position is number 10 anyway. Then you've got Mkhitaryan, you've got Pogba. You've got Martial, one of the best players in the world, playing on the left, and will be one of the best players in the world. Mkhitaryan on the right, statistically one of the best players in Europe, and then Zlatan up front. It's in any team in the Premier League would die to have that lineup, and we should never forget that we have got a very good bunch of players, and we're going to add in a very good player in Pogba. So I'm very, very excited for this watch along, is what I'm trying to say. I would be happy if that was the youth team and Zlatan was up front, because I can watch Zlatan for 90 minutes. I did it, well, effectively that's what I did in the Euros, because Sweden were rubbish, and you just spent the whole game watching Zlatan. I'm more than happy to do that. It's a bit like when you play FIFA and you just control the one player. You're waiting around to control that player. So I'm really excited to see Zlatan, but there's loads of other people as well. A few of you saying Davy Coe and Carl Jones, what time's the kickoff? 50 minutes. So we've got 50 minutes till the kickoff. Pogba is coming, says Rian. Yep, definitely. Just hope we don't get any injury, says Leroy. Yeah, that's always a risk. Matty Gormasel Marino's just said we have 22 fit players, but we will have another one. One fan posted a pic with him and Pogba where he says that Pogba signed the Man United soccer balls and jersey. My maester, yeah, that's true, but Vidal signed a United shirt as well. So, Pogba is coming. I don't want to compare it to Vidal.
That one, I know I sent you this morning the one of Pogba signing the Man United shirt apparently this morning in LA, but then there was another one of this sports guy. I don't know whether he's like a journalist or something, but it's in his Instagram profile that he's a sports something or other, and that he was like speaking to Pogba about his he had a lot of jokes with Pogba about his 130 million price tag, and that Pogba basically confirmed it from his understanding of when he was talking to him, signed 2 Man United footballs and I think a Man United shirts.
You know what? Let's not talk about Pogba anymore. We've done the 5 minutes we had to. He's coming to Manchester United, and I tell you what, it's exciting to have transfer stuff on one hand, but this is football. This is what we're here for, and we're watching Zlatan today. It's Zlatan time. Is Pogba signing tomorrow? No, I think it would be Monday at the earliest. Seriously, the lineup, somebody just said, I'll whiz through that a few times. It's De Gea, Valencia right back, Shaw, Bailly and Blind centre backs, Schneidlin, Herrera box to box, Rooney number 10, Mkhitaryan right, Martial on the left, and Zlatan up front. So yeah, that's how that will work. A few of you, one experiment we always do when we're live, and we've got quite a few of you watching with us at the moment. I think we've got 395 likes on the video. We tried this before. It's brilliant to watch it. Even if half of you just hit the like button to the video now, it will jump from 400 to over 1,000. It's great to watch. It's your show. You're massively going to be involved when the game kicks off. So hit the like button. Let's see if we can just go 400 to 1,000 very, very quickly. Also as well, just slightly off topic, because we like to go off topic as well while I get Alex back. The game will finish at about 8:30 UK time tonight. I will finish the game. I've got a meal for 2 from Marks and Spencer's in the fridge, which I will go and eat. And then I plan to sit down and watch a film. Give me your ideas for what film I should watch. At the moment, I'm thinking Heat, an absolute classic by Michael Mann with Al Pacino and Robert De Niro. Very good summer film. I normally watch it in the summer, but whack your ideas into there while we just take a little bit of a time out. Alex has only got another 10 minutes before he shoots off. So anything you want to talk about, Alex, that is on your mind that's relation to Manchester United?
Who do you think is going to be our most important player next season? Because I was thinking about it when you were talking about all the lineup earlier, and I was just thinking, I still think that our most important player will be, well, aside from De Gea, obviously, but I don't think we'll rely on him as much. It's going to be Martial, even though we're bringing in the likes of Pogba, bringing in Mkhitaryan, bringing in Zlatan. I still think that Martial is our best player, and it pissed me off so much when people were slating him during the Euros just because Deschamps has no clue how to manage players. And it's the same with Hodgson, how he never played Rashford. But Martial played one bad 45 minutes during the Euros, and then people were saying that trash like Coman are better than Martial, and it's not a chance. If if Martial pushes on this season, then he is capable of getting over 20 goals, which for a winger, so to say, is an absolutely brilliant return. I think he will be our most important player, but with Mkhitaryan helping him on the other side is something that we didn't have last season when we were playing the likes of Mata.
Yeah, I'm going to answer that question now, but I'm just going to read out some of the people who put films in there because you know me, I like film as well. XV2 Gaming said The Godfather. I think that's absolutely brilliant, but I'm actually going to see that next month at the Symphony Hall, where it's got a proper orchestra and you watch the film, so that's going to be great. Seven is brilliant, says Red Army. Inception, says Niall Carroll, good film. I'm going to be reading Stardust, Mohawk, says Gary Anderson. Is that the one with De Niro in it? Skyfall, Casino Royale, says George Clooney. Jordan Cordy said Skyfall. But I'm a seasonal person. I like to watch, like, Christmas. I like to watch, films like what was the one with Leonardo DiCaprio in it when he gets attacked by the bear? The Revenant, very good film. I won't watch that till Christmas. But Sexy Beast, a very good summer film with Ray Winstone in it. But I think I'm going to go with Heat. Independence Day, says the Draughty Devil. Now, it's probably sponsored by United now, isn't it? Now, but no, True Romance, very good film. Harry H. I tell you what, I didn't think you would go wrong. I knew the United stand comments people and people who'd watch are bang on form when it comes to good films, and there's bloody loads of them there. I've just seen Wolf of Wall Street as well. Interstellar, I'm a bit unsure about that. The one player I think is going to be most important to us, I always try to think outside the box. I said it 2 years ago that I thought Herrera could be really important. I said last year Darmian. I'd say, yeah, probably because we had a rubbish manager that didn't work out, and I was quite surprised that probably Martial and De Gea last year. I don't think De Gea is going to be ever our player of the year again. I think we are never going to have to rely on a goalkeeper like that ever again, and Manchester United never should. I still think De Gea is going to make great saves and be a world-class keeper, but we're not going to be in the position where he's our player of the year. I would go with... I think Mkhitaryan's going to be very... Well, who did you go with, Alex?
I went with Martial. I think despite all these new signings coming in, they're obviously, like, some of them world-class. I just think Martial is so good, and I just hope he kicks on. Yeah,
I'm going to go Mkhitaryan because I think if he can repeat any sort of his form that he had at Dortmund, he not only does he create goals, he scores a lot of goals, and that is important. That for us this season, that's important. You've got the individual brilliance of Martial, who basically, you think back to that semi-final against Everton, where Everton came back in the game, we're on the ropes, and he gets the ball, does a 1-2, and creates something. I still think you'll see that brilliance from Martial, but we need to create more. Scholes said it all. Zlatan's not going to score many goals because we don't create chances. I guarantee that's the one time Scholes is going to be wrong in the last year. We will create, and Zlatan will score goals. But that creation is going to come from three sources mainly: Mkhitaryan, Rooney, or Martial. And I think Mkhitaryan's the one to bet on. We're going to go from scoring less than 50 goals last year to scoring about 70 to 80 goals this year, maybe even more. And that creation is going to come from Mkhitaryan. I think Pogba could be really important, but I think until he's signed, hold back on that. But I would go Mkhitaryan.
Pogba was the top assister in the whole of Serie A last season, so to have like that much creativity from centre mid will be a huge boost as well to our creativity.
To be honest, I don't think a lot of people understand how good Pogba is. I mean, I saw him a lot in the youth setup, and he played a couple of games before we let him go, and I was devastated that we let him go because he's a fantastic player. But I don't think a lot of people understand the sort of player that Paul Pogba is. As Alex said there, he had loads of assists last year. He had the most take-ons, like running at people and taking them on. He's got so many aspects to his game. He's not Yaya Toure or Patrick Vieira reincarnated, like some people think. He's not that sort of player. He's a very skillful player for somebody who's 6'3". Something else I wanted to throw to you, Alex, and the comments board as well. We put this up on Twitter a couple of hours ago, and it's already had 3,000 votes on it, and it was basically, forget Pogba for today, where do you think United will finish this season? Get voting, and the options were champions, second, third or fourth, or with Liverpool outside the top four. 1% went with Liverpool outside the top four, 11% went with third or fourth, 29% went with second, and 59, so nearly 60% went with champions. I mean, I don't know whether I've asked you that, Alex, but are you thinking we can win the title?
As a joke, I voted outside with Liverpool outside of the top four because I did see that poll earlier today. Someone must have retweeted it, and it came up on my timeline. But realistically, obviously, my heart will say that we're champions, and I think we've had if we sign Pogba, we've had the best summer by an absolute mile out of any team. But I just think that Europa League is going to hold us back. If we'd have finished like 7th or something and we'd be out the Europa League as well, then I think we would be favourites for the title. And if you go look at the bookies, City are favourites and then second favourites are United. which surprises me because I would think that Chelsea should really be favourites for the title due to not having any Europe to worry about. But it's this weird thing about that. I know Champions League, you're playing a Tuesday or a Wednesday, and then you'll go play on a Saturday. And then with Europa League, you play on a Thursday and then on a Sunday. And it's like, I don't know if it's a mental thing or what it is. It's like, teams always seem to play badly after playing a Europa League game. It just depends how seriously we take the Europa League. Like, I would hope until we get to the knockout stages that we'd play in the likes of Rashford if he's not a starter, Pereira, Fosu Mensah, players like that in the group stage, because it gives them obviously brilliant experience. And I think they're good enough to get out of the group stage anyway with a team like that. But yeah, if I was to be put on the spot, I would say second at the moment.
It's going to be an interesting season, and the fact that Chelsea haven't got any European football at all, Liverpool haven't got any European football at all, it is a big advantage. You saw it with Leicester last year, being able to just prepare yourself each week for Premier League games, because they got knocked out of the FA Cup very soon, is a massive advantage. And Liverpool, let's not remind ourselves, Liverpool did the same. They didn't have any European football. Rodgers used to rest them all week and get them pumped up, and they'd win games within the first half an hour, and up until the slip, they had the league in their hands. So it's a massive advantage. I don't think we should put any credence or preference on the Europa League. I think history shows if you go for the Europa League, it affects your league form in the second half of the season. Jose's too clever for that. If I can pick that out and figure that out, and you can figure it out, then Jose can. But we're going to get rid of Alex because he's going to shoot off, and we're going to get Martin on. Thanks very much for coming on, Alex. Really good to get your insight. We'll swap guests. And you're on tomorrow night for the Sunday show, are you?
Yeah, definitely. And thanks for having me on, guys. And I'll see you all tomorrow. And let's hope we win. And let's hope Zlatan scores and Martial masterclass needed. Thanks a lot. Bye.
See you, Alex. Okay, yeah. So Alex will be back tomorrow at 8:30. I should be able to get my next guest on if I remember how to do this. Where was it? Where would he be? We've not hit 1,000 likes yet. I can't believe it. Please hit the like button and let's get over 1,000 likes. We like to do that on live on air. For those who've joined us a little bit late, the way it's going to work, I'm going to get Martin on as a guest in a moment. He'll be there until about just before kick-off, and then because everybody this morning said you'd rather it was just me and the live comments when the game's on, I'll watch the game with you lot, and it'll be massively reliant on you on the live comments. I need somebody to interact with, and it's going to be all of you lot today, which is fantastic. I enjoy doing it, and I think a lot of you do as well. Right, I'll have to get Martin to call me on Skype because... Oh, he's done it. Hopefully he's going to flash up on screen. Yay, here he is. All right, Martin, how you doing?
Hello, you all right? Good afternoon, good evening, good morning from wherever you're watching. How's it going?
Good. I take it you've seen the team news. You look really small, but that's better.
How's that?
Yeah, that's fine. It's just a bit far. I can make you bigger while you're talking. You've seen the team. Happy with the team? Any players that you're sort of looking to watch?
To be honest, I thought Darmian would have started over Valencia. If Mourinho was going to be trimming the squad down, I really can't see Valencia staying as a squad player. So I find it weird that he's starting. I thought Darmian would have started today. And no Memphis anywhere, is he?
I think is he on the bench?
I'm sure that from looking, I couldn't see him unless I'm blind. I'll have a quick another look, but I'm sure he wasn't on the starting lineup or on the bench.
You might be right. I might have totally missed that.
Yeah, I thought that was a bit of a weird one. I'll just double check just so I'm not.
I think he is on the bench, unless I've totally missed the point.
He is. Sorry, yes, he is.
I think he'll play second half, won't he?
Yeah, I just thought he would have started. You think Martial's only been back from his break for a couple of training sessions, but then I suppose you're looking at Zlatan the same. I just thought they would have come on the second half. Zlatan was always going to start with us being in Sweden, but I thought Memphis would have started. I thought there's going to be a lot of emphasis on him this season. Is he going to be a bench player, or were we going to see him a different side of him? Expected Blind to play in centre back with B. Schneiderlin Herrera will be interesting. I think we were crying out for that all last season from Van Gaal, but he was always playing Carrick or Schweinsteiger with one of them. So it'll be interesting to see who holds and then who goes forward with the rest of the attacking four. I think looking at the forward line, the 4-forward line, I think that is who we're going to see. So quite excited to see how all four of those players gel together. Praying that Rooney just stops dropping off. Joins in with the attack with Ibrahimovic, stays up top, and just lets the likes of Schneiderlin, Herrera, Mkhitaryan, and Marshall be the sort of creative force that they have in the squad. Not wouldn't really change too much else apart from Valencia, but I think you and Alex have touched on that already quite a bit.
Yeah, one of the things we did touch on, and I'd be interested to get your view on it. Obviously we're all, I think 99.9% of us can't wait to see Zlatan, and I'd happily watch him on his own. But is there any other players in that lineup that you've, tactically or how they're going to shape up, or looking forward to seeing them this season, if they can improve, etc., stuff like that? Who else are you going to have your eye on?
I'm always going to have my eye on Martial. I mean, I think him having Mourinho now just builds upon his attacking strength. It'll be interesting to see how disciplined he is in a Mourinho side, because I think we didn't see a lot of freedom from a lot of players under the Van Gaal sort of regime, but Martial was certainly one of those players who was allowed to sort of come in off the left hand side and join the attack. And he didn't, yes, he was defensive in some instances, but in a Mourinho side, he expects that forward line to drop in with the back two, with the holding two. So be interesting to see how disciplined he is in that sense. But also, I'm really excited to see him and Mkhitaryan linking up, switching positions. It'll be so nice to see Martial given that freedom across the front three. Will Rooney sort of allow that to happen, or is he going to sort of take up the space constantly behind Ibrahimovic? I don't want to touch on Pogba yet because, you're saying he's a done deal. I'm sort of still on the fence as to whether I believe that's definitely going to be pushed over the line.
I know. So, I was doing a live show the other day, and I think I must have had a guest on, and I popped into our little message group on Twitter and could see you after having seen the Adidas advert say, "Oh, I'm still not sure." And I think I was live on air saying, "Martin's still not sure," even though it's 100% going to happen. Pretty much, I've got to quit United Stand and Twitter if he doesn't sign. I'll back myself into a massive corner. So there's a spot going if Pogba doesn't sign, but I'm beyond sure it will happen. My main reason, and I'll keep saying it, is one reason I think Di Marzio has been brilliant. Two, a few other things I've been told makes me think it's going to happen. Although I have been let down there before, and Bolo. But the biggest thing for me now, I'm sort of glad Adidas started doing these adverts, because if he doesn't sign for Manchester United now, as a brand, that is appalling for them, because they will get. One thing about Manchester United supporters is it's very vocal, as we know on the United Stand. If people don't like you, they're quite vocal about it, and there would be a massive backlash against Adidas. The kits, all three of the kits, very nice this summer, but if they mugged us off like that, like they have, they're not mugging us off, they're building it up. But that for me is massive.
I just think the Pogba thing. It's come from so many media outlets that it's done that it's going to happen. I'm still always one of those people until I see him holding the shirt at Carrington with Ed Woodward or with the manager. Then for me, it's still totally up in the air. And you just know that Real Madrid, regardless of whether they've said they've been priced out of the deal, there's just that small percentage of me thinks that they could come in next week and it gets sorted out within a couple of days, and that does give me the fear. And I think a lot of fans are thinking like that. No, but the one thing fans mustn't do is read into these adverts, because if you look at the press release, Adidas have done, I think, there's 6 separate adverts, and they're all supposed to tie together, and it's with all of their biggest sponsors, the biggest teams that they sponsor. So
I'll tell you what, though, Martin. You've just prompted me to give, and this will make you feel more relaxed. I'm going to see you visibly relax about the Pogba deal in a second. And for all those people who are watching United Stand, you're very lucky because you're about to get a little bit of insight here. I spoke to somebody this morning. I won't give their name away. I think they're going to come on the show in the next few days. Who actually works in marketing, and we were talking about the advert. We would have done a video about it today, but obviously with the game, and we want to focus on that. But just very, very quickly, I'll tell you what I was told. Basically, 100% he's coming to Manchester United, not because they've got insider knowledge, but because they are a brand expert and they've done that sort of thing before. And there's a few things that you need to pick out about the advert. One of the big things is that every club, like Martin says, has had their advert so far. Manchester United haven't. But at the end of every bit, it does first follows or anything like that. Every club, when the colour of the font is always the club's font. So if it's Chelsea, it's in blue. If it's Real Madrid, it's in white. When they haven't released the Manchester United one yet, but the only time they've done it in red was when it was Manchester United and the Pogba thing together. So that's a big hint that it's going to be that. So there's that reason as well. And the other reason is they haven't done the Manchester United one yet. There's been a little clip of him outside Old Trafford and there's been on the banner, but we've not had ours yet. Like Real Madrid have had Benzema and other people have had, I think it was Dybala for Juventus. We haven't had our clip yet. And if you're following Adidas like I am very closely, they've not let a hint out. They've basically said there is a Manchester United one. It's going to blow everybody away. I expect it's being held back because it's going to have Pogba in it. That's my thought on it. But there are clues in there, which maybe I didn't even pick up. But there we go. So, Martin, you feeling more relaxed now? No, you're not, are you?
Look, it'd be very easy for me to get excited about it. I think, when we were chasing Ibrahimovic and all that was in the press, I was more relaxed about that. And there was, only half of the media speculation about that. So I think I'll just sit and watch. Whether or not, if there's that small percentage doesn't sign, at least we've gone in for a bid from him. At least we're showing the financial backing for Mourinho. I mean, people are comparing it to the Vidal thing, the Schneiderlin thing a few years ago. Schneider, not Schneiderlin. And
Schneider
the thing
might be
is,
playing today.
Yeah, he probably will be playing. And the thing is that we never actually put a formal bid in for either of those players. At least it's been publicised that we've actively pursuing Pogba, and we're the only club actively pursuing him in the media. So that's where I am sort of relaxed about it. But like I say, until he's holding the Man United shirt, I won't get too excited about it, because it makes the season so much different to me if he's in our squad.
I need to get him a violin out. So the reality is he's coming to Manchester United, despite what Martin's getting on about. And we'll move on. There was a very good question in there. We've got over 1,000 likes on a live video. Fantastic. Let's see if we can get 2,000. How it's going to work is I've got Martin with me until just before kickoff. Then it will just be me and the live comments. So if I'm not hitting the live comments as much as we normally do at the moment, I will be as soon as Martin goes and we start the game. And the things I want to look out from you lot in the game, I want a bit more. I can't see everything. I can't be watching this and that. So I want a bit of tactical analysis, even if you're just going to pick one area. Like, maybe somebody might want to have a look at how Schneiderlin does or how Martial or Mkhitaryan does. We'll all have our eyes on Zlatan. But I was saying half an hour before, Martin, that there's two things I want to discuss, because there was a great comment in there. What happens if Zlatan gets injured this season and he's out for 6 months? I've got a theory on that. And also, I was saying before that the things that I'm interested in this game, obviously Zlatan, I could watch him all game on his own. Lynn Hall's with us. The Schneiderlin, I would have played Carrick because I like him taking the ball off the back, but it's a massive season for Schneiderlin, and that's a positive that he's playing today, because I don't think there was ever any need to sign Matic. I think Schneiderlin was the best midfielder in the country 2 years ago. And also Rooney at number 10. It's interesting that for me is Rooney's best position. I don't disagree with what Alex has said a year ago, that he's on the decline. But if we can get the best out of Rooney, if he is the club captain, he is going to start the season. I don't think Jose's afraid to drop him, but if he's going to start the season, the best place to start for him is number 10. So I'll throw that to you. I mean, the first bit was Zlatan. If he gets injured, he's out for 6 months, what happens?
If Zlatan gets injured, it's quite straightforward. You've got the likes of Martial, who can play number 9, or you've got Rashford. That lends itself to having Memphis come in. We've still got Ashley Young, who's a decent squad player. I don't think Zlatan getting injured at any point in the season takes too much away from our team, to be honest. And I say that really loosely, because Ibrahimovic is world class and he'll bring so much to our team. But I don't think we need to rely on him as our main player in that squad. I think he brings a lot to it, but I still think we'd have plenty cover if we were to go out and need another centre forward. I still think that there's room to bring someone else in. I'm not expecting us to go out and sign someone for 20, 30 million, but I still think we've still got plenty of time in the market if we needed to bring another striker in. But I think our squad currently for forwards is actually not too bad. We're in a better position than we were last year. We've actually signed a centre forward, so I don't see it doing too much to us if he does get an injury.
Line up. I keep forgetting that. Just I read all the comments, so if I can't read them out because they're whizzing through at the moment, but I do read them, and it does prompt me. And you'll probably realise that quite quickly. I just typed that, and then I'm saying it. But line up is De Gea in goal. Yes. Valencia at right back. Bailly at centre back. Yes. Blind at centre back. Left back Luke Shaw. Yes. Schneiderlin defensive midfield. Yes. Herrera box to box. Yes. Till we get Pogba. Rooney at number 10, yes, because he's going to start the season. Let's see what happens. Mkhitaryan on the right, yes. Martial on the left, yes. Zlatan up front, yes. So there's only a couple of positions in that team I'm concerned about, and it is pre-season, so we'll just wait and see what happens. Valencia's not a right back. Even in the friendly against Dortmund, he got found out positionally again. I'll be amazed if Mourinho starts with him. There's rumours of Fabinho. And also Darmian's meant to be carrying a knock. He's only been training a couple of days. Blind as centre-back. Don't think you can win a title with him, but I'd rather play Blind than Rojo or Jones, so I'm not bothered about that for today. Kickoff is in 25 minutes for those people who do not know. We are so close to breaking the live watching record for the United stand. We have 3,800 people watching. If you break 4,000... I think it's probably a world record for any United channel to have that live watching, and I do mean any channel. So get liking and sharing. It's absolutely amazing. Drop us a like. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. The way this will work is Martin's with me for another 20 minutes talking about United with you, and then he's off to watch the game on his own, or maybe with friends, I do not know. And then we will start the game. I'll be watching the game there, talking about it, and massively interacting with you on the live comments. So you're the pundit with me on this today. We can't show you the live match for anybody who's... I know some people put live streams and everything like that. It's a live stream watch-along. We can't show you the game. We'd love to have the game up in the corner next to me there. Maybe one day that will happen, but we would get shut down. You can't do it. It's illegal. So it's a watch-along. It's pretty poor commentary on the one legal way we can watch it in the UK. I do subscribe to it, but it's poor commentary. So you'll probably get better commentary on here. Watch it however you watch it. It's not for us to say how you watch it, but just sink in with us. The blue box in front of me, I will start that. It's a timer. As soon as the game kicks off here, the timer, so you can sink in with us and be in with us. But Rooney's best position is on the bench, says Joshua White. Mark, who is other transfer you kept hinting on? I don't know. Don't know whether I hinted about anybody, did I? Zlatan gets your record views. Exactly. Zlatan's first game. We are 45 away from 4,000 watching, which would be absolutely sensational for Zlatan. Do it for Zlatan. Share it on every social media bit you've got and keep getting involved. But match starts in 25 minutes. Is this game... Go on now.
How do you see... Because you were going to talk about Rooney, because I think he was the next one you highlighted.
Yeah.
For me, he's got a very, very big sort of 3 months. Like you say, I think Mourinho is not afraid to drop him. I think there's players who can play that position. With Mkhitaryan coming into the squad, young, fresh, looks an absolute player at number 10. Yes, he's going to prefer Rooney there because he's been dying to work with Rooney for sort of the last 5 years. But to me, Rooney's got a very, very big 3 months, and he's usually quite a slow starter in the league. So I am interested to see how he plays today in his testimonial and obviously going forward, because I think you'll pick him. I think you will give him just that tiny bit of favouritism, but I don't think you'll stick with him too long if he's not producing what he wants, because Mourinho wants goals out of Rooney. He doesn't care about his assists, doesn't care about his passing game. He wants him to join in the attack with Ibrahimovic, and he's expecting him to be scoring just as freely as Ibrahimovic should be as well. So I don't know what you think about that, but I genuinely see 3 months.
I totally agree with you, Martin, to be honest. I think that it'd be interesting to see what people are saying in the live comments about Rooney. You know, we've got a few minutes, we may as well talk about it. If you've been watching United stand long enough, I started last season with Kev, and I don't remember where you were, Martin, to be honest, in relation to it. I know Alex said he was on the decline. I said, give him a chance. He was given a chance, and he's just... I will give him fair and say Van Gaal destroyed every attacking player we've got, and he does deserve a chance. He's not a midfielder. I'm so glad Jose's taken him out of that. I think that was a self-defined position to get himself in the England team. I think he thought he was the next Paul Scholes. For me, he wasn't the next Joey Barton as a centre midfielder. He's not a centre midfielder. He's a number 10. I think he might be on the decline, but I think if anyone can get the best out of him, it's Jose. It's unrealistic that we were going to sell him, like some people said. It's unrealistic that he wasn't going to start the season because he's the captain. But I do agree with you. Massive 3 months. I think if he continues like he's been for the last 2 years, he won't be in the Manchester United team for that long because there's too much we could do. You could put Pogba at 10, you could put Herrera box to box, and there's no place for Rooney. There's Mata as well, who I don't think will be sold. So he has got to go from a consistent 5 or 6 out of 10 over the last 2 years to a consistent 8 out of 10 for me. Otherwise, he's not going to be in the team. So I hope that answers your question. And can you remember what you said last season about him? What was your thoughts on him at the start? I can't remember.
Do you know, my opinion of him has changed over the past 2 years because I think when we started doing the United Stand, I was quite comfortable with him sort of playing in a diamond when he was playing there. I think Moyes had him in a diamond, and I think I was sort of in the fence of thinking he could fill that role of being a midfielder. And then I think I was sort of agreeing with Alex to say he was on the decline. He had lost pace. He had lost that yard and that burst that he used to have. But I've never sort of thought that he's not good enough to play for Man United because you've got to look at what he's done, for the past 10, 11 years that he's been here. But he's certainly been one of our poorest players for the past 2 years, without a doubt. He did well with Moyes, but I think that was probably due to the contract, signing a new contract. And I think we relied so heavily on him in that team with Moyes because we let so many big players go. But definitely, I think he's got away with murder over the past 2 years under Van Gaal. I think he should have been dropped a lot sooner. I think when he got injured, it was sort of a blessing in disguise. And then he was given that, again, specialist treatment when he just walked straight back into the squad instead of the normal Louis Van Gaal needing to see you play 3 games of 60 minutes before he trusted them to play 90 minutes. Rooney just waltzed straight back into the team. I don't ever feel that Rooney's been put under pressure for his position. I think that's the problem. He's only ever been benched because he's been injured. He's never had that sort of being benched because he's been poor, apart from Fergie doing it when we had Van Persie. And he threw his toys out the pram quite a bit then and said he wanted to go. And I don't think Mourinho will stand for that. I think if he's not performing and he's on the bench, I don't think Mourinho will care if he lets him go because he's not really worth. I can't imagine us getting much for him. Yes, he's going to do his best to get those 5 goals to be our out and out leading goal scorer for the club ever.
Is that all it is? 5 now?
I think it's 5. Yeah.
Yeah, he'll get it. Yeah.
And I think he'll realistically, if he's under pressure at the start of the season to perform, he'll probably get them. I think he'll get them before Christmas under Mourinho, and I hope he does because I think that'll spur him on.
Even if it's just off penalties.
Yeah, but like I say, I just think that he hasn't got long left. He said he wants to finish his career at Man United, so he'll want to win things. And I think having Ibrahimovic with him, so he is a bit older than him, but both of them coming to the end of their career, I think hopefully we'll get the best out of him.
Rooney's an odd one because what we do on this channel is I don't really buy into, and I don't think any of us buy into, and the viewers don't buy into this. You've got to just have your lips permanently sewed on to the backside of every Manchester United player. If you don't think they're good enough, you've got every right to it. I said it last night. The most important thing to me, and should be to any fan, is the club, the badge, and the fans, because they're the consistent thing that will stay. Managers, players will come and go. Some players will come for money, whatever. That's the most important thing. It's fans, the club, and the badge. That's what it is, the 3 things. Rooney, they're just showing clips there. Rooney, when he first burst on the scene, I loved him. He was absolutely sensational. Over the last few years, he's probably the equivalent of a late 30-year-old because he's been playing since the age of 16. It's a miracle that he's only just going into decline now. It really is. But there's 2 comments in there from Rob Webb that I noticed, which I read them all, but they just jumped out at me, so I'm going to read both. One of them is very true. He said that this will be Rooney's last season, which I guarantee you it will be. He will go. As Martin was alluding to there, he will break the record and he will go. And Mark, like you said, the weight is off his shoulders now. Bigger players are coming in. I don't know whether Rooney actually wants the weight to be taken off his shoulders, but I said the minute Zlatan signed, Rooney got shoved aside because Rooney's always been the focal point about Manchester United, the star player, even though he's not performed for 2 years. He's not anymore. He might not even be in the top 3, but he's certainly not the number 1 anymore. It's Zlatan. You buy Zlatan and he becomes the god of Manchester, and he will take on all the pressure that comes with that because he can. That could be amazing for Rooney, Martin, because that could just give him the freedom to go and do what Rooney does. I always felt, I must say hello to Paul Gardner as well, who runs our website, he's on there. I always felt that the captaincy was the worst thing you could do to Rooney because it tamed him. He became responsible. And that Rooney, who'd sometimes just lose his temper and chase back and foul somebody and get a yellow card, that's when you get the best out of Rooney, because Rooney on the edge is the best. Some players like Roy Keane, Cantona play best on the edge, and I think Rooney's one of them players who plays best on the edge. But we know under Van Gaal, he hated indiscipline, he hated yellow cards, he hated people who argued with the referee, and he took a massive part out of Rooney's game, because Rooney actually, as bad as the Moyes season was, Rooney played quite well.
Yeah, and just something else as well to touch on. What you've said there, if not actually being number 1, 2, 3, maybe he's even the 4th in the current squad. If you go back to 07, 08, 09, when we had Ronaldo, Tevez, Berbatov, Paul Scholes, you still wouldn't have gone, Rooney's, if you take Rooney out of that squad, it made our squad worse, because he wasn't the focal point, but he had the freedom. He allowed, Ronaldo was given, he was our out-and-out goal scorer in that season. Rooney was their assistant, but Rooney was playing 10, and he didn't have to do too much else in the game. Rooney was popping up with goals, he was contributing, but he wasn't our star player. And if you look at under Moyes, he was our focal point. When Ronaldo left, Rooney went up top, which was probably his best season in my opinion, when Ronaldo went the season after, when Sir Alex played him as an out-and-out striker, and that's all that he did. I think that was his best goal return. And to me, that was him at his peak, but it only really lasted for a season, because, like you say, I think he is at a burnout because of his age, and he started when he was 16. So I think if he's given that freedom this year in that number 10 role, allows the attacking players around him, the likes of Martial, Mkhitaryan, to do their thing, I think he can. I do still think he can do a job, but he's still got to perform immediately. He's got to kick on as soon as the season starts. He has to be performing. He has to be scoring goals. We can't just rely on him making good passes, because it doesn't bring anything to the team. Our passing is going to come from the likes of Mkhitaryan. Our central defensive midfielders are going to be expected to play those kinds of balls into the attackers, and Rooney has to be the one either feeding into Ibrahimovic, playing off him, or scoring goals himself. We shouldn't be relying on Rooney to assist.
Apologies there, I was doing something else and Martin disappeared from the screen, but we could all hear him. I'm in absolute shock. We have got 4,500 people watching us on a live stream, which has just smashed the record. So while we're at it, I'm so pleased, because you lot are going to be a massive part of the show as soon as the game kicks off, because I need you to help me when we're watching the game. A little experiment. If we've got 4,600 people watching, can you all just click the like button? Because we've never had numbers like this before, and I'm a bit... we certainly don't pay for views or anything like that. We've never done that. But if we have really got that many people watching and you all hit the like button, it should go to at least 2,000. So if you could all help me with that and just hit the like button, and let's see what's going on.
It takes less than a second to hit that like button, so please go ahead.
It does, and I'm just truly, I think as a channel, we're truly humbled, but it is your channel, and it's great that you keep buying into it, and also... subscribe if you're new. There must be new people involved in this channel, so subscribe please. We do lots of shows on the United Stand. We do Sunday Night Live every Sunday at 8:30, and we're live every weekday night talking about transfers at 8:30, and we do watch-alongs for every game. So absolutely amazed. The likes aren't going up, so maybe, I don't know, but the views are going up. It is absolutely amazing. I'm amazed. I'm excited though. I'm excited. We are 13 minutes away from kickoff. I'm watching them all warming up at the moment. It's an exciting lineup. It's De Gea in goal, Valencia at right back, Blind Bay centre backs, left back Luke Shaw, Schneiderlin holding the midfield, Herrera box to box, Rooney at 10, Mkhitaryan on the right, Martial on the left, and Zlatan up front. So much to watch. I mean, I'm looking at Zlatan now. So much to get excited about. We can get excited about the transfers. It's been an amazing summer, but we are approaching the thing that matters now, football. These great players that we've brought into this team, this great manager that we've brought to our club, it's all starting to materialise now, and I cannot wait. But interestingly, Martin, the thing is, although it's a pre-season game, we've only played Wigan. The Man City game got watered off. Dortmund schooled us, they did, but they were about 2 weeks ahead of us, and that is massive in pre-season. We've both played football, and it's all about fitness. You could see they were quicker. What we want to see now, bloody hell, we've broken 5,000. Hit the like button, because if we've got 5,000, we should have at least 2,000 to 3,000 likes. So I'm concerned where all these these things are coming from, and I'd like to know that they're real. What I was going to say is, tonight, 10 minutes is the time for us to start actually with these players playing some exciting football that we haven't seen for 2 years, creating chances, and really, I mean, we couldn't be more excited now. We could not be more excited, but I'm looking to see some real excitement in our play now.
It's going to be exciting just to see Zlatan in a Man United shirt. It's a little bit like Schweinsteiger last year. It's one of those things that we never thought of Schweinsteiger. And yes, we probably signed him a couple of years late, but it's still exciting to see that caliber of player in the Man United shirt, and to see Zlatan come out number 9 in that Manchester United shirt. I think just that alone will give such a boost to the players around him, because there will be players in our squad playing today who would have dreamed about playing with players like him. So that in itself is exciting. And I can't wait to see Martial back. That I've already said it when we started. He was one of the players I was going to look forward to today. I can't wait to see him, because he didn't really get too much of a look in at the Euros, which was an absolute shambles from Deschamps. He should have had him on way earlier in that Portugal game. So excited to see Martial back in as well.
It's interesting, really, because I was talking about this with Alex, and obviously we're getting a lot more people viewing the video now. Please drop us a like. We've absolutely smashed our world record on live watching, so it's amazing. Martin will be leaving me in about 10 minutes, and then I'll be watching the game and totally relying on you on the live comments. So that'll be you're going to be a massive part of that. If I'm normally more involved with the live comments, but we have got a guest at the moment, but we will be in about 10 minutes. It's all going to be about you and watching the game. But we were talking before, Martin, about points to prove, because somebody said to me this morning that it's interesting that, what will Pogba come back and do? Is he coming back for the money? Is he resentful to Manchester United? My interpretation is he's coming back with a point to prove. We let him go. We never should have let him go, but he will be coming back with a point to prove. We've got a manager who was chewed up and spat out as the champion by Chelsea, who's got a massive point to prove. We've got Manchester United, the biggest club in the country, probably in the world, been poor for 3 years, massive point to prove. You mentioned another one, Martial, not used in the Euros, massive point to prove. We've got so many players with points to prove that Zlatan, didn't need to come to England. At his age, he's done everything, didn't need to come here. Probably could have earned more in China in the MLS. He's coming here. He's not going to want to end his career where he's averaged a goal every other game by not succeeding. There's so much to be excited about, because there's so many elements in that team. Points to prove, and that will unite a squad anyway. Rooney, point to prove.
I think the thing that you touched on there was Zlatan. I think me and you talked about this when we were at Hotel Football a couple of months ago. Zlatan could have gone to America and earned millions and really done very little. He could have gone over to China where there's big money, but he's come to if the hardest league in the world at his current age with a point to prove. Even if he's here a year, I guarantee he will want to win as many things as he can, and that to me is exactly what we want, because he's going to be playing up top. He's going to be our starting centre forward. He is going to bring so much to the team. I can't wait to see him bullying the English defences. Going to Stoke, if we around Boxing Day. Those difficult games. Zlatan is going to be well up for those matches, with those battles against centre forwards. Centre backs. I just can't wait to see it.
Yeah. Sorry, I was just running the clock there because it was there to sort of remind you, but I got into my points to prove thing. The blue thing below me is when the game kicks off, we'll start it off so you can sync in with us, because there might be a little bit with a live stream. Inevitably, there will be a slight delay, but at the end of the day, you're watching it with a couple of thousand United fans. So just pause you 3.
We've got 6,000 watching live now.
I don't know how we're doing that. It's unbelievable. I really don't know how we're doing it. It's unbelievable. The United stand, we started it 18 months ago. Martin's one of the originals with me, as is Kev and Alex. We started it because we wanted to bring football back to the fans. We wanted to interact with the fans. We wanted it to be about the fans. You've bought into it over the last 18 months. We won the best new football blogging award. It's always been about you. It is your channel. We keep saying it. It's not a cliche. But ultimately, it's about giving a voice to the fans. And the fact that there's so many of you watching and getting involved with it over the summer, just like the videos, keep sharing the videos, keep getting involved, keep watching, subscribe to the channel, because this could go anywhere. Because at some point, how big it's going, the wider media are just going to have to stand up and say, bloody hell, look what that's doing. And then when that happens, we will have an independent voice for the fans, and it will be your voice, because we say it how it is. Nobody else in the media does it. They're all worried about sponsorships. You wouldn't get anybody else saying, oh, Rooney might not be a Manchester United player in 3 months, or he's on the decline, because they're all terrified of saying it, because they want him to come and open up a supermarket or appear on Match of the Day. It's real opinion, and I think that's why it works. But totally humbled by it. You're absolutely superb. But the blue box there, it will when the game kicks off, it will start. And what I would say, there's so many of you watching it. We're watching it together. What's the problem with pausing whatever you're watching to sync in with us so it's all together? So that's how it works on the watch along, and a lot of people do buy into that. We're about 6 minutes away from kickoff, Martin. I know you'll be off to watch the game in a moment, but I'm not going to do score predictions because I think that's ridiculous in a pre-season. We've not really touched on Galatasaray. I don't know anything about them. I know Robin van Persie and Nani were over in Fenerbahce playing over there last season. They don't tend to do that well in Europe. I don't think it's a particularly strong league, but Galatasaray would be one of the 2 or 3 teams that are decent there. I don't know how far along they are in their pre-season either, because that can be massive. But they will give us a game. I think they're quite a physical side. Turkish sides are. But I would be hoping that we're going to win it, and I would be hoping for at least 3 goals. Is that optimistic, or are you thinking 1 or 2-0?
I'm thinking 1 or 2-0. I don't think we'll concede today. And that's no disrespect to Sam Johnson, who was in goal against Dortmund, but we've got the best goalkeeper back in our squad today. I think our centre backs. I'd be interested to see how Bae copes if Galatasaray are a bit physical. He is a big lad. 1 or 2 goals I'll be happy with. I think I'm just looking forward to seeing how we press, because I think Dortmund Dortmund really did school us off the pitch. So I'm just hoping that we've learned from that immediately. Yes, I mean if you're looking at the conditions as well over in Asia. It looked like it was absolutely sweltering, so I'm not surprised with how far behind we were with our pre-season preparation. 1 or 2 goals, good performance. Get Ibrahimovic on the ball as much as we can. Get the ball to Martial and Mkhitaryan. I think let's just go at it, because it's really our first proper pre-season. If you take Dortmund out of the fray, we haven't really played enough yet, so I'm just looking forward to playing more football, because we're only a couple of weeks away from the start of the season, and we need to get a winning mentality into this team as soon as possible.
You know what? Martin's going to go in about 4 minutes, and I've just realised I'm going to be on air for the next 2 hours, and I've just drunk a can of lager. I do need to go to the toilet. I'm just going to run off and quickly go and leave Martin to talk for a couple of minutes while I do that. There was a question that was on the tip of my shoulder. Rashford, just very quickly, what are your thoughts? And I'll give you a minute to talk about it. What are your thoughts on Rashford's season this year? Some people are concerned about whether he will play many games. I think he'll play 30 games easy. He'll be our number 1 sub after Zlatan, who won't play 90 minutes every game. But should people be worried about Rashford and also Pereira? I'll leave you to that for a minute, and then I'll be back.
All right, well, I mean, we'll start off with Rashford. I think what we've got to remember about Marcus Rashford is that he got into the Man United squad last season because of injury. If we hadn't had those injuries to Martial, I don't really think we would have seen Rashford. He would have been much more of a bench player. He would have come in later on towards the end of the season. So I don't think that fans should get too upset about it, because he is so young. Ibrahimovic is only going to be at Manchester United for a season. Maybe he might consider signing the contract. But having Zlatan there with Rashford is only a good thing in my opinion. I think Rashford will get game time in the likes of the League Cup, FA Cup. I think we will see him in the Europa League. I think it's be too easy for us to think that Rashford isn't going to play a lot next season. Let's face it, if you take Ibrahimovic out of the squad, Rashford is the immediate replacement for him. I don't think Martial is going to play as a number 9. Whether or not you guys in the comments think that, I do think Martial is going to play in that forward 3 attacking. So for me, I think Rashford is going to get enough game time. Whether or not he's going to start a lot of games, I definitely think we'll see him from the subs bench. And we've always got to remember it's all down to how Ibrahimovic plays. If Zlatan isn't playing well and we've got the likes of Rashford eager to get into that team and score goals, I think Mourinho will give him the opportunity to do that. So we'll just see how it goes with Rashford. But I think fans need to not get too concerned about him not playing immediately, because I think he got quite lucky last year. If Martial hadn't pulled up with that injury, I genuinely don't think Van Gaal would have actually put Rashford into that team any earlier than what he could have done at that point. Van Gaal got away with quite a lot in terms of him bringing youth through. A lot of the time he was playing youth because of the amount of injuries that we had, and Rashford fit exactly into that mould. Pereira, maybe he's a little bit different of a situation because there's too many players currently in that who play that similar position to him. So for me, I think Pereira has got to go out on loan to a Premier League team. I think if he's going abroad, I don't see the point in it, because if we want him to be a future Manchester United player, get him playing in the Premier League. There's plenty of teams who will take him.
Leicester apparently.
Yeah, I think it would be stupid of us to keep him if we know he's not going to get enough game time. But if he's going to go to, Leicester would probably be perfect for him. Southampton, Everton, Ronald Koeman will play him. So I don't fear that he's going to be sort of left out to dry. I think Van Gaal did that to him. I think Van Gaal should have let him go out on loan last January. He promised him that you'd give him game time. We never saw him again that season, apart from, I think, in an FA Cup match we saw him when he scored the free kick. So I just think that if Pereira's going to go on loan, go to a Premier League team, go to a Championship team, stay in England, don't go abroad, because I think the lure then will be to sign for that team he goes to abroad. Whereas if he's in the Premier League, Mourinho will be watching, will be keeping a keen eye on him. So there's two differences. I think Rashford will definitely get game time. Currently, I don't think Pereira will.
I'll tell you what, it's just on the telly there, and it's one of the happiest things I've seen in probably many a year, is just seeing Zlatan Ibrahimovic in a Manchester United top. I said the reality will bite when it happens, and he is one of the great players of the last 20 years, and to have him in, I think he's going to prove everybody wrong. I know saying 20 years will make people think he's old. He is, but when it comes to fitness, Rooney might be 30 and Zlatan might be 34, but when it comes to fitness, Zlatan's 25 and Rooney's 38. It's the way they've looked after themselves, and I just absolutely brilliant. Martin, I presume you're going to get off?
Yeah, I'm going to get off because I need to get this game on. So thanks for having me. Please, everyone who's watching, if there's still 6,000 of you watching, just take 2 seconds out of your day and like the video. If you're new, please subscribe, and I'll see you all soon.
Yeah, see you soon, Martin. Thanks for popping on, and enjoy the game. Right, with him gone, I'm going to close Skype down, because that will do a lot of good for my computer. Let me just close it. Quit Skype. Yes. I'll turn it off there. We are very close to kick off. I'm going to run through the team lineup for you. I just want to say a big shout out to Daniel Poulton. He'll know what I'm on about. Massive thanks to him. We're going to do the prize draw at half time. We're also going to do the obviously, it's me now, it's me and you. It's me and you. This is what people said this morning they'd prefer. They said they'd prefer not to have a guest when the game actually kicks off, because you want me to interact with you on the live comments box, which you will do. The game is about to kick off, so I will start off the timer. And as soon as it kicks off, then you can sync in with us and be synced in. If you're watching it, however you're watching it, just pause and catch up and be running it alongside us. You get more fun out of it that way. I want your help on this. I want your help on it. I mean, obviously, I'm doing this for 90 minutes and half time. Tactically, with the United stand, we like to look at players. There's big players to watch today. Zlatan, obviously. How does Schneiderlin perform in that defensive midfield position? How is Daley Blind going to perform at centre-back? I'm sure he'll do quite well. But more importantly, Rooney at number 10, Mkhitaryan. There he is, Zlatan. He's just kicked over his head. 34-year-old, and he's just elastic, man, isn't he? He's absolutely a god. I can't wait for it. I'm absolutely overawed. We've got 9,000 people watching. Unbelievable. Imagine if we hit 10,000. Nobody's ever done that. Keep liking and sharing the video. Nobody's ever had 10,000 on any channel for any watch along. So that's brilliant. The game is off. I will keep, and I've started the timer there. So it's all about you and me now. And what I'm expecting from this game is I'm very much expecting Manchester United to start creating chances. Last season we scored less than 50 goals. Absolutely appalling. This season we've got to start creating chances. Bailly's playing as the right-sided centre-back, as we would expect. Blind is the left-sided centre-back. There's no shocks. You know, sometimes when Manchester United played under Van Gaal, you'd be like, why is Lingard playing in goal or something stupid like that? There's no shocks in the lineup today. Schneiderlin is the ball fetcher off the back four. Shaw is at left-back. Valencia's at right-back. Rooney's the number 10. Herrera is the box-to-box. And obviously Martial on the left. And Mkhitaryan on the right, and Zlatan up front, which I can't wait to see. And we've just tried to switch it out to Mkhitaryan there. One thing I did say, and I'd be interested to see what some of you have to say about that, is Rooney as number 10 has got to play as a number 10. None of this dropping into the centre circle to play a deep ball out to Valencia at right back. Jose sort of said that in his first press conference that would stop. Be interesting to see if he can stop Rooney doing it, because he's been doing it for so long. Shut up and show the game, says Tronics. We're not showing the game. We don't show the game. We are the United Stand. We are a credible, independent Manchester United fan channel for the fans. It's your channel. If we start showing the live footage of the game, we'll get shut down. You can't do that. It's a watch along. Watch it by however means you want. A lot of people wanted us to start doing this because they were fed up of biased and poor commentary. They said, you know, I want to mute that and just sink in with the United Stand, with United fans, and talk about the game with real fans. That's what we do. I'd love to have the match up there for you, and maybe one day that will happen, but for now it can't happen. So it is a watch along. Watch it by however means you can, and we will talk about the game amongst each other, and you will get, obviously, United fan analysis on it. And the good thing so far, we're only a couple of minutes in, is that Rooney is playing very much advanced as a number 10, which is what he's meant to do. Trying to get Luke Shaw in down the left there, but it's with the Galatasaray goalie. As I was saying to you and Martin before the game, very, very difficult to know about Galatasaray at all. Don't know much about them. Don't watch Turkish football. They never seem to feature anymore in the latter stages. There's a bit of money in Turkey. Fenerbahce obviously got Nani and Van Persie offers last year. Galatasaray have got Schneider. But I don't know how far along they are with their pre-season or anything like that. They're knocking the ball around quite a lot now. But Zlatan's a monster as well. I mean, we know he's big. He's what, 6'3" or 4? But want to see him get on the ball a bit. It's all about building relationships today. And Zlatan's just had his first touch there. Nicely into Herrera, and then Martial on the wing. So much talent. I was saying this before as well. You look at that team, and I know a lot of them didn't perform last year, but when you look at them for the players they are, especially from midfield forward, Schneiderlin, one of the best midfielders in England a couple of years ago. Zlatan's just won it back there. We've got a bit of an overlap if we can find Valencia. Schneiderlin, Herrera's potential's great. Rooney at 10. Mkhitaryan, one of the best players in Europe last season. Zlatan's just hit it on the volley. It's 1! It's 1-0. Zlatan, back of the net. Oh, hardly any time at all. It's Zlatan time. He didn't really connect on the volley. But it is Zlatan time, and it's a goal to Manchester United. 1-0. What a start. The bitter people of Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, well, it's not London, isn't it? Will be on their knees, but it's a cross. It's a volley. The keeper doesn't do that well. He's on the penalty spot. He hits the volley from a Valencia cross into the ground, bounces up over the goalkeeper. Who cares? The God has spoken. The God has spoken. Brilliant. Absolutely superb. What a start. What a start. Speechless. Absolutely speechless. God of Manchester, says George Kyle. Zlatan, says Nat John. What a goal, says Luke Plays. The technique in the goal was brilliant. It's like when you do that technique, it doesn't always, you don't get the perfect connection, but the actual technique, not many people could do that. You're absolutely brilliant, Luke. Overhead for me, says Paul. Bicycle kick. He did like the scissor kick before he did it as well. What a goal, says G1 West. What a start to the game. This is what we want. We can all go on about transfers, but it's what people do on the pitch. Zlatan's arrived already. All those people who think he's old. I told you, I've been saying this for weeks as well. Ever since we've signed him, you're not going to realise till he starts wearing a United shirt just what we've got. For me, the best number 9 in world football. Messi and Ronaldo are one-offs. They are epic players. But as a number 9, specifically to do a number 9 position, he is the best. I've got to change the score. I've got to change the score. But, what a start. It's all going off. What a time to be alive. What a time to be a Manchester United fan. It was brilliant. It was a really, really good goal. Using the width, which we never really did under Van Gaal. Valencia putting an early cross in. And right in the penalty slot, Zlatan, scissor kick in the air, hit it into the ground. Brilliant technique. He didn't connect with it as well as he could have done, because I think if it hits it properly, he just blasts it in. And don't know why I'm wearing that now. And it bounces up over the goalkeeper. Well worth a watch if you can get it. Brilliant. Absolutely superb. Great goal. Great goal. This is his first goal. Many more to come. That, says Keshan. He's not the best. What's that? Moses says he's not the best. Come on, he is up there though. As a number 9, Zlatan Ibrahimovic is the best number 9 in the world, because he does everything. He's got everything. He can control the ball. He can run past players. He can score volleys like that. He's strong. He bullies defenders. He's tall. He's great in the air. He's the complete package. I know you're probably thinking about people like Aguero, but Aguero can't hold the ball up. He can't bully defenders. Zlatan can. For me, I take Zlatan every time. And you're going to start to understand where I'm coming from with this. Zlatan is going to light the Premier League up. He's absolutely superb. Got the score wrong. I've put Galatasaray in the head. Bloody hell. Idiot. What would I do without you? I told you this show is going to be all about you. I might struggle tonight. Because I haven't got a guest. You're my guests. It's your show. Help me out. We're 1-0 up. You've put Galatasaray 1 ahead. The live views have dropped drastically. A lot of people obviously thought we were going to show the game, which we weren't. So thanks for sticking with us, those hardcore people have. Drop us a like. If we got 3,000 likes on a video, that would be a record as well. But we can relax a bit. It's gone off. We're only in the 7th minute and we are 1-0 up thanks to Zlatan. I think we can all... This summer's just getting better and better. Pinch me, I might wake up. Andre Robinson really needs to see the goal. I know some of you can't watch it. Unfortunately, I'll relay it back to you as best I can. It was a cross from Valencia. There was quite a few people in the box. And he's on the penalty box as the cross comes in quite high. He's up. He's scissor kicking it. He hits it. He doesn't connect it perfectly. And he sort of shoots it into the ground. The ball bounces just before the 6-yard box. He's on the penalty box and bounces up over the goalkeeper. There's not loads of height on it, but the keeper can't do anything about it. Great goal. Suarez is better, Mark, says Fons Grout. Suarez is not a better number 9. So Suarez is not a better number 9. You can leave Zlatan Ibrahimovic up on his own, like Sweden did, and have 10 men behind the ball. He'll do it on his own. He's an absolute monster. But he's just shown there is what agility and brilliance he has for a tall man. Absolutely amazing. We were talking before the game about who's going to be the most important player. I think a lot of us, me included, just assume that Zlatan will do the business. But he's an absolutely amazing signing. Absolutely amazing signing. I'm going to go to some of your comments because I do need your help. Man United Twitter always make GIFs of the goals. Check their Twitter. They will do. Yeah, Viper. Twitter's the best place if you want to try and grab the goal. Rooney so bad. Rooney has had a couple of passes that are astray. All eyes are on Rooney. He's not the focal point of the team anymore. He's gonna have to step up to the game. Somebody saying there that they'd rather listen to us than MUTV. Fine. That's fine. A lot of people don't like the commentary because it's very biased and boring. That's one of the reasons we do the watch-along. So watch it however you want. You can sink in with us. Watch it with a load of United fans. And apparently it's very enjoyable. I enjoy it and a lot of you do. So just keep getting involved. Let's have a look what's going on. De Gea there with the ball. I mean... This is good. This is exactly what Manchester United should be doing against somebody like Galatasaray. We should be dictating to them. We've got a world-class manager on the bench. We've got world-class players in there. Alex has just messaged me with big words, Zlatan exclamation mark. Sorry, I think I said Daniel Poulton. It was David Poulton, I should have said. I don't know why I call him Daniel. I think there is another Daniel Poulton. Big shout out to David. He knows why. Superb. And I'm just... trying to see because I'm getting sent stuff all over the place here. Oh yeah, I know what that's about. We've got Herrera here bombing forward in the box-to-box role, just out on the left at the moment with Anthony Martial. important for a lot of the players today just to get their match fitness up. And remember them, some of them have only been back in training for 2 days, and I would expect in the second half we will see a totally different side. Hopefully Memphis can do something. Danny from Malaysia saying midfield is struggling a bit. Hopefully we'll get to grips. Midfield's probably the area that we're all concerned about the most, isn't it? Let's be honest. And we want to see a little bit more from the midfield. A corner coming in there. We never score from a corner. Maybe we can stop that sort of thing. Rooney there. I think Galatasaray will get that clear. Although Zlatan's free on the back. Oh, Martial tried to hit it. If it had just dropped to Zlatan, he was free on the edge of the box, sort of right side. But Martial tried to shoot himself. What a start. What a start. You can't argue with it. It's been a very good start from United. We are 1-0 up. Zlatan Ibrahimovic scoring already, for those who are just joining us a little bit later. Galatasaray, though, I think Danny's right. They are a decent side. They're passing it around. We want that. We want a game. I said the great thing about the Community Shield is, one, that we won the FA Cup, but two, it's a competitive game. It's all about getting a competitive run out at this time of the year. Results don't matter too much. It's about competitive run-outs. We'll get that next week against Leicester. They'll be up for it. And hopefully, I think Galatasaray will give us something here today as well. And, just Bailly there getting rid of it. It's another game for Bailly to get used to his players as well. That's the thing about today, is that this is our first competitive game. As first never follows, flashes up as an advertisement on the billboards. I bet everyone thought Pogba, like me. It's another game for everyone just to get used to each other. Or a first game in the case of Zlatan. That's a very good tackle by Herrera. But Herrera really biting into the tackles and doing what a box-to-box midfielder should do. Helping out Schneiderlin, but bombing forward to help Rooney out. He bit into a tackle there. Schneiderlin's just won a tackle here. Feeding Rooney. Rooney is being fed quite a lot, but unfortunately, Rooney's had a few balls now that have just not been up to it. But, let's give him the benefit of the doubt. He's probably a bit rusty, but he's being fed. You've got to feed your number 10. And Herrera already, I said against the Wigan game, and I don't think he did particularly bad against Dortmund, looks like a different player. Because under Van Gaal, you're not allowed to express yourself. You play very defensive, only do little passes, not do anything, risky. Totally different ball game with Mourinho. He is happy for his attackers to express themselves, as long as when they haven't got the ball, everyone works hard. That's what will happen. Mark will relax when we score. Chill. You won't miss if you're not. I know some of you can't watch the game. That's another reason why we do the watch-alongs. You'll get an instant reaction. Don't worry. You won't miss anything in relation to that, and I will relay it to you as best I can. Daniel Fordham, Rooney has been doing sloppy passes for 3 years straight. He has. I think we've got to ignore the last couple of years. Give him this last opportunity to try and get some form back. I don't disagree that Rooney's not been. I said before the game, Rooney's been consistently 5 or 6 out of 10 for the last 2 years. If he wants a place in this team, when you've got the likes of Pogba, Zlatan, Mkhitaryan, Martial in it, he's got to be consistent for the number 10, because the number 10 is the most important position. He's got to feed them. He's got to be consistently playing 8 out of 10 every game. Good tackle by Bailly there, just blasting it up the pitch. No nonsense, which I do like about Bailly. He can mix it up when he wants to, but no good. Somebody just asking there if Martial's doing any good. He's not really had that much of the ball, to be honest. Pogba to replace Rooney all day, every day. Troy Lydon. I think he'll probably take the Herrera position, to be honest, box to box. But we've got so much talent in the squad. If Rooney's not performing, then Jose will mix it up. That's what we always wanted. Mark, Lynn wants you about your clock. Don't know what that's all about. Where on YouTube live? 2-0 now. Where it's not 2-0. Don't worry about people writing the score in there, because I am watching it live. I know there's a slight delay, but I am watching it live. So when people are putting 2-0, it isn't 2-0. I will miss a ball playing. And I know a few of you people are saying like where to watch it. If you are going to watch it, just mute your audio and keep us up, and commentary and all that lot, and get commenting in there. I want to know what you lot are thinking about the game. We normally have a guest on. A lot of you this morning said don't have a guest interact with us with your thoughts, so do that. I'm interested to see what a lot of you think. I mean, very much keeping my eye on Schneiderlin a lot as well. I think his position's quite good. Not quite good, quite important. There's 2 positions in this team that are really important for the whole season. The defensive midfielder who's taking the ball off the back 4. Carrick does it very well, but we know he's coming towards the end of his career. And the number 10 who's feeding people. Zlatan's just come back into his own half there. Lovely little control and layoff. Does the simple things very well. You know, Zlatan could play as a number 10. He won't do. He's got to be number 9. But Zlatan could play as a number 10. He's very, very, very creative. A lot of people don't realise that. Andrew Jackson's just seen the Zlatan goal again. Brilliant. Who scored the goal? Zlatan. Within 6 minutes. Very good goal. Very good technique. Is Shaw doing good? You know what? We got the goal and we've gone within ourselves a bit. The midfield are biting. Herrera's biting into the tackle quick, as is Rooney, as is Schneiderlin. But to say Shaw or Martial or Mkhitaryan, they're not getting a lot of the ball at the moment. It will. Hopefully, they will get more of the ball. Joe Barrett saying missed the goal mark. Can you describe it? It's a bit of a midfield battle at the moment. Well, I say battle. It's a bit side to sidey. That's a poor ball, and De Gea will pick it up from Galatasaray. The goal was Valencia over on the right. Quite a few people in the box. Cross comes over quite high. It's probably about that high, just above your head, on the penalty box. Zlatan up in the air. Not quite an overhead. More of a scissor kick on the side. Shoot, doesn't connect with it perfectly, but connects with it. Hits it into the ground. It bounces just before the 6-yard box. So penalty box, 6-yard box. Bounces just before that over the goalkeeper into the top corner. Not a massive amount of power on it, but unstoppable for the keeper. If he'd connected with it properly and not hit it into the ground, I think it would have been worldy because the technique was brilliant. But a great goal. Really, really pleased with it. Rashford isn't playing, so Scorpion1129 Gaming. He isn't. We've got 11 subs, so we'll probably see a totally different team in the second half. Few people joining expecting to be watching the game. It's a watch along. You've obviously never seen the United stand before. We're a fan channel. Do loads of different videos. So you won't be seeing the game here. It'd be great if we could show it, but you won't be. Who would you rather buy to replace Ibra eventually? Harry Kane or Lewandowski, says Ryan Allen. Good question. I don't know what people in the comments section think. I do like Harry Kane. He was terrible in the Euros, but can you judge a player that's managed by Roy Hodgson? Good. Rooney's just won it back there, well on the centre circle. Feeds Marshall. He's got a lot of space ahead of him. Goes past one. Cuts inside. Needs to find a pass. There's another pass to Mkhitaryan if he finds him. It's a poor pass by Rooney. Just needed to pass it past the fullback. And it wasn't Mkhitaryan. It was Herrera who was in. And he doesn't find the pass. Poor passing in the final ball from Rooney. Unfortunate. Final ball is off. He needs to sharpen that up. He won the ball in the centre circle. He did that well. But his final ball is really off. I said this from the Wigan game, and I'd like to get some of your thoughts on this though. Under Van Gaal, it become quite tired. Already under Jose, you can see that the ball's being moved quicker and there's more intent in moving the ball forward more, which is what we expected. Anaya says it's Anyanya. I probably got the name wrong. Really sorry. I always try to do this with those people who are watching because I know a lot of you are watching. I was speaking to Danny in Malaysia this morning. I know ridiculous hours that you watch, and one of the things we always try to resist with the United stand is that there are United fans out there. Is he offside? He's offside. Who have an arrogance towards being from Manchester, thinking they're more important because they go to games or they're from Manchester. And I was talking about this morning, we've said it many a time, I'm really interested to know where you're all watching from, because I was speaking to Danny in Malaysia and he was saying, Champions League games, people in this area of the world, they're getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning and then watching a game and then having a couple of hours sleep and then going to work. I mean, what's more dedicated? The Manchester fan who doesn't go to the game but they're from Manchester and watches it on the telly, or these fans from around the world who are getting up at ridiculous o'clock to watch Manchester United? The fact is, there is no answer. The answer is, no, we're all the same. We all support Manchester United and there should be no superiority complex at all in relation to being a better fan. I just think the world support we have with Manchester United is brilliant, and it's one of the things the United stand's always engaged and promoted that we all love the club, no matter where we're from. North Pole, South Pole, Mexico, Australia, UK, Russia, wherever you're from, you're all United fans and you all matter. Surinder's from Birmingham. He's probably just up the road from me then. So Florida, Australia, Lithuania, Florida, Wales, USA. Australia, it's 10 to 4 in the morning. It's dedication, but I tell you what, I think it's going to be the dedication that matters this year, because we're actually going to get to watch some good football. And the likes of Zlatan, as I said before the game, I would watch Sweden games, who were very boring, just to watch Zlatan for 90 minutes. He's an absolute legend. Rooney plays like that. He's had it, says Red Prepper. Yeah, you can't judge people too much on pre-season, but once the season starts, it's Schneidlin's down at the moment, but I think it's a head injury, so I'll be expecting him to get up. Indonesia, Bangladesh, Leicester, Northern Ireland, Wolverhampton, Denmark, Manchester, Kolkata, Jamaica, Brazil, Blackpool, Derry, Moldova, Ireland, India, Trinidad and Tobago, Houston, Texas, Malaysia, LA. Tell you what, one day it'd be nice to go to around some of these places and visit where you all are, because I think you're fantastic. And we've got a massive Manchester United family, and the United Stand family, or as the United Stand army, as some people say, is bigger than most. So welcome to it, and obviously keep getting involved. We can't do it without you. Moldova. It's a bit of a lull at the moment, but we're 1-0 up. It's a free kick to Galatasaray, out to the right-hand side, about halfway along the pitch. Cross comes in from Schneidlin. It should be 1-1. It is 1-1. Poor defending. Good goal. Cross comes in. I think Daley Blin's at fault. Give us your thoughts on the goal. I'm going to watch it again. 1-1. Shocking defending from crosses again. A recurring theme from last season. I'm just waiting for it to happen. I think it's Blind, but I'm not 100% sure. It's probably Zlatan. Shocking. Well, I don't think it is Zlatan. He's the closest player to the ball, but who's marking who? I don't know where the centre-backs are. That's the point. Let's get some of your comments. I've got to update the comment borders. I'll do that while I'm doing that as well. Stop blaming everything on Blind, says Baker's F1. I've just retracted that. Well, I didn't say it was Blind's fault. I said it defensively. It was an absolute shambles. I thought it was Blind and I held off. Zlatan's closest to the ball, but he's a centre forward. It's not his job. There was just no... The closest people to the ball, from what I could see, was Martial, Zlatan, and Rooney. Well, where's our centre backs? It was virtually on the penalty box. So, of course, you can blame the centre backs if you want to. I retracted it. I'm not blaming Blind. I'm just saying poor defending. I tell you what, the more I see, the more I am convinced that we need to sign a centre back. I don't know what you lot think, but I think we need to sign a really experienced centre back. And Kev McGee says, in need of a commanding centre-back. Update the score, Mark. I've done it. Mark will still win the league, says blame the pickle. You know what? It's 1-1. The game will open up a bit more. It's pre-season. We want entertainment on a Saturday night. It's 1-1. So what? By Sixer says, we need a centre-back or else we can't challenge for the league. Fair point. Who let him go? Shocking defending from a set piece, says Colkay. It's so bad, Colkay. It's impossible to say who let him go, because I don't even know where our centre-backs are. They've got to be on the penalty box. You've got to have. This is where we miss Vidic, and this is why I would like Manolas, because Manolas wins all his aerial duels, and when a cross comes in like that, like Vidic used to, he don't care about the player. Vidic as a centre back was, I'm winning that ball. I'm not marking anybody. I'm winning that ball, and he'd just go and win it, and we miss that. Josie will sort it out. He'll sort it out. What we don't want to do is lose, because we don't want the meltdown of the press are just going to get onto Jose as soon as they can, and we don't want that. We've got to stay united, but. It was shocking defending. Leave Pogba. We need an experienced centre-back. That was from Brendan Pramji. No, we've got to get Pogba as well. What about Bonucci, says Karina. I like Bonucci. I just worry about Italian defenders in the Premier League, but maybe he could book the trend. Pressing is really poor, says Connell. Thanks for that. We'd love the tactical analysis when you're watching it. Zlatan's playing very deep. Massive overlay there. Feed Mkhitaryan. Mkhitaryan's on the right here. He's going to have 2 on him very quickly, and he's lost the ball. We are nearly getting away on the break quite a lot, which we never really did under Van Gaal. Unfortunately, the final ball's not great. Ashley Williams says Kim Skills Gaming. I know a lot of people say Ashley Williams, but I tell you what, it's a good tackle that. And Luke Shaw, I want to see Luke Shaw really. He's knocked it out of play. Final ball's the problem for United at the moment. It's absolutely shocking. Luke plays midfield a bit overruled here. It is a little bit. Which is a shame because I know we're going to sign Pogba and I know he's going to come into that midfield, but Schneiderlin, you want him to do well. Herrera, you want him to do well. Rooney's got to do well in that number 10. There's no excuse for that midfield not to be doing it. Someone says don't drink too much or you're off to the toilet. I'm struggling, aren't I? If I have to go to the toilet, I will slow down a little bit. Can Pogba become the next Scholes? Andres Pereira. People need to stop going on about that. Pogba can become the next Paul Pogba. Jose's tactics are being exposed, says Johnny Arty. John, you started on Van Gaal so early last season. You surely, I'd like you to comment again. You're surely not against Van Gaal, Jose, already. Ashley Williams sucks, says Joseph. I was going to come back to that. Whenever anybody says about Ashley Williams now, I'll either ignore it or I'll just give the one answer. Why didn't Brendan Rodgers take him from Swansea to Liverpool when he went there? If he's not good enough for Liverpool and Brendan Rodgers, he's nowhere near good enough for United. He's just not United class. Losing shape in the midfield, says Colin Archer. I would agree with that. Who has scored for United, says Rory Trainer. It was Zlatan. Galatasaray have been very physical, as I predicted they would be. They are flying into the tackles. Herrera's just been taken out there by, I think, Schneider. And I think he might have even got a yellow card. Yeah, he's not happy about it, Schneider. But they are. You want that. You want a bit of physicality. Herrera is dropping deeper than Schneiderlin defensively, says Danderman. Well spotted. What about Laporte, says Mays Ali for a centre-back. Never going to happen. He was going to go to City, or City wanted him, and then he signed a new contract. So Laporte is not an option. Ashley Williams is a mid-table player, says Man United Salford Reds. Yep, totally agree with that. Herrera needs to be more box-to-box. He was in the first 10 minutes. He's gone more defensive now. The final ball from everybody is shocking. I think that's the problem at the moment. Martial here on the left. He's running at his player, which is always a good thing to see. I think he's overhit that one. No, he hasn't. It's a decent cross back. It's a corner. Good play. Pressing him back. Gets it on the left. Runs at 2 players. You think he's overhit it, but he's lightning fast. Pulls it back. Well defended by the Galatasaray. We've got a corner. Luke Place says a few years ago he did love Schneider at United. We did. We thought he was going to sign. How many years ago was that? We all wanted him, but it just never happened. Yeah, I would have liked him as well. And I wouldn't say one that got away. It's just typical Manchester United transfer. There's a lot. You know what annoys me about this? So many empty seats. So many empty seats. Oh, it's bubbling about a bit. Rooney's now got it on the edge of the penalty area. Loses it. He's not doing himself any favours. Blin's just won it back. Decent ball back into Rooney again. Just play the simple ball. He does. Now Blin's got this and he should have crossed that first time. He's got a decent cross, Blind. Overhit. Another corner. Better play. Rooney just needs to play the simple pass. But it is like watching a Man City game. There's so many empty seats. Cross. He's giving a goal kick. I think the referee's giving a goal kick there because he can't be bothered. He obviously can't tell. A few people on Twitter, Michael Morrison, saying same old shit, unfortunately. I like to say rust and would if we didn't do it all last season. I don't know. I don't know whether I'm really... Whether I'm that... thinking that at all. I think it's still early days. Just talking to Draughty Devil on there, he's saying that people just need to chill out a little bit. But we do need to chill out. Half an hour in, I would say, so far, going through the team. Obviously, De Gea's not had much to do, couldn't do anything about the goal. Valencia's actually done okay at right back, although you can't have him as right back because he'll make too many mistakes over a season. Luke Shaw's doing okay. Blind and Bay, I just would wonder where they were for the cross, but apart from that, they've done okay. Midfield, Rooney's just not doing that well. He's put a few good tackles in, but final ball poor. Herrera started off quite well the first 10 minutes and has gone more defensive, like one of you said in the comments section. Schneiderlin, hard to say. I wouldn't judge him too much so far. Not grabbing hold of the midfield, though. That's his job. Zlatan, scraps, but he scored a goal. That's his job. Martial, a good couple of runs. Mkhitaryan, very, very quiet. Very, very quiet. Don't know what. Interested to get your thoughts. But that's what I would say. James Arnold, pre-season's about getting match fitness. Yes, I agree with that. Zlatan's given away a few fouls, says MTA Gamer. The referee is quite hot on fouls. What's the formation? It should be a 4-1 with Schneiderlin anchoring, Herrera box to box, Rooney number 10, and then you've got your two wide men in Mkhitaryan and Martial, Zlatan number 9. It's turning a bit more into two holding midfielders again. But old habits die hard. They've been stuck under a dictator for 2 years. It's going to take the players a little bit of time. Galatasaray just on the attack here. Skipped past Luke Shaw, but Blind is in there quick. And clears up to Galatasaray again. Dr. Death is saying Rooney's done, ship him out. Well, I'd liken him to Memphis against Wigan and Dortmund. Pretty much the same as last year. But it is only early days. It might take time for Jose to sort things out. But for me, Rooney's playing in the best position he can play. He's not a centre midfielder. He's not a number 9. If he's going to play for Manchester United, he's got to do it in the number 10 shirt. And if he can't do it in a number 10 shirt, he'll have to go to the bench. Zlatan should have won that there. We would have been on the break. But Galatasaray are passing the ball about better than us. Rooney's just done, says Dr. Death. Mark, 50 million for Thiago Silva plus the link, Ibra. Think we need a number 10. Defence very weak. We need an Ashley Williams, says Tyler. Warm. Wes Morgan, Neil Driscoll. To be honest, I don't think Wes Morgan's good enough for Manchester United. I know he's just won the title, but what I would say about people like Ashley Williams and Wes Morgan is you could rightly say they're better than Phil Jones and Rojo, but that doesn't mean they're good enough for Manchester United. They're not good enough for Manchester United. Manchester United should be having centre-backs of top-class quality. We shouldn't be... You're almost doing yourself down by saying Wes Morgan or Ashley Williams. We should be hoping and getting far better than that. Very good play by, I think it was Schneiderlin again. A few 1-2s running into the box, but Bay did really well. I thought the ref was going to give a penalty for a minute. Muscled him off the ball and won the ball. And the ref's not giving a foul on him there. But Galatasaray are biting far better than us, fighting far better than us. We've got loads of men over in the box there. We are getting a bit dominated here, and we need to book our ideas up. That's what I really do think we do. I think as we approach half time, we are being dominated, and another bollocking at half time from Jose. They need a rocket up their arse because we are being dominated again. Decent shot. De Gea with a good save. It is very similar to last season. It's Schneider with the shot, and we are just hanging back. He takes a shot just outside the box. It's a decent shot. It's probably going to hit the bar or go over anyway. But De Gea hopes it on the way. They're just throwing that run through the box there. It was good defending by Behi. But it's disappointing. They are starting to go onto the back foot. Sheldon, Kozlovich says, suspect Jose will rip at half-time. So do I. Shout out to Huddersfield Town, funny gaming clips. Cross comes in, another corner. Rooney, Valencia, Herrera just not good enough, says Andre Robertson. De Gea with the save, says Lee Poulton. I want Fosu, says Big T. Not even there. Playing too far apart, says Anthony Abderab. It was a decent... Well, he punched that one, but we should get away with it now. Mkhitaryan's very quiet. He's hit a long one here. trying to find Martial on the break. Yeah, who scored for us? Zlatan, KJ Smith. Galatasaray look a bit sharp. I think they've had more games under their belts, says Ricky Singh. Maybe they have. It is a big factor. You can't move away from it. Paradox Nova. Rooney, no good, no longer a first team player. And I'm being told that, but Ad Edetenintim, I can't get the name right, said that it was Blind's fault. That's their striker that scored and he was on Blind's side. Mark, do you think Schneiderlin is good enough as a one-man holding centre defensive midfielder, says Josh Sharp? He should be. He should be. He was shocking last season, but I put that down to Van Gaal. Before that, he was really good. He should be better, but you can give Memphis, Schneiderlin, Herrera, Darmian an opportunity, and I think they will be given an opportunity. And I believe in all of them. I do believe in them all of them. I think a lot of United fans do. Great turn by Zlatan there, fouled. But if they don't take the opportunity, then they'll have to be sold. Nobody gets a free pass. They've got to step up to the plate. Nikhil N, very poor. I'm sorry, just not good enough. We're in here. It's offside. I thought we were in. Ball over the top. Where's Mata, says Alec Alval. He's on the bench. Give Everton 10 million for them to take Rooney. Live forever. LG. Why are United the worst team in? I don't know. I got just joke. Oh, okay. We need Bastion to control the midfield, says Luke Play. He's making some good points, Luke. Schweinsteiger should not be sold because we can't control the midfield. We cannot control the midfield. Galatasaray controlling the game. I expect changes, but why are we selling Schweinsteiger? Oh dear. Still 9 minutes to half time. Anything can happen. I mean, we're going to be on this. I know it's pre-season, but you could flip it the other way and say pre-season is an opportunity for players to actually grab. Like Pereira was brilliant in pre-season last year. You can say, oh, they're not match fit, but you can also say it's pre-season. No one's playing 100 miles an hour. If you play 100 miles an hour, you're going to shine and get yourself in the team, and that's what the likes of Schneiderlin, Herrera, Rooney should be doing. Good. I tell you what, Bay's got a decent pass on him. He just threaded that through to Herrera, and through about 4 players, and we're on the attack now. It's a decent cross. Martial will pick it up on the edge of the box. He's lost his control a little bit there. Finds it back, but this is an opportunity for people to do well, and if they don't do it, we're relying on Carrick, who we know is on the decline. It's natural at his age he's on the decline. We're selling Schweinsteiger, Rooney there, volley, edge of the box, should be doing better, a player of his quality. We're going to sell Schweinsteiger, and we're going to be relying on Carrick to take the ball off the back 4 again, and he gets injured far more than he did now, so it's a concern. I would keep Schweinsteiger because he's class. I know he's got an injury problem, but my thought was what we'd do this season. You should just say to Carrick and Schweinsteiger, play 25 games a season each. That's all I want you to do. I'm going to rotate you in that position. Midfield is slipping. Yeah, we need another defender. Hashim. Love Man United, says Dicker. Rooney needs a diet. Seems heavier than usual. Come on United, believe, says Live Forever. Bay is a beast, says Anthony Abderab. And Karina. Bay is playing well. Who scored for us? Zlatan. Mark, for once, stop hitting on players and be honest about Jose Mourinho's tactics, says John Iart. Look, I'm going to be pro Jose. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to be pro Jose Mourinho. It's way too early to start getting onto a manager when he's only been here a few weeks. And he will get my backing all of this season. He will get it. I will not go against that. I gave Van Gaal 18 months and it was hell. Good. This is good. Herrera's got it in the box. It's a bad ball by Zlatan. It's a bad ball. Herrera biting into the tackle. Fed Zlatan. We're running at their box. He's got Mkhitaryan on the right. Rooney on the left. A couple of defenders. Feeds it to Mkhitaryan, but it's overhit. And when Mkhitaryan's getting it, it's on the touchline. Comes to nothing. Yeah, I'm going to back Jose Mourinho for a year. He gets a year from me, and I think he deserves that. unless we're getting beaten 5 or 6-0 every game, then obviously you've got to reassess. But I'm not going to just blindly back him in decisions. If he sold Pereira, I would do a video going mad. If he loaned Fosu Mensah, I'll go, that's what the United stand is. That's what you are. Donny's on about Indonesian United fans. Thumbs up. You should always say what you think and never be afraid to do it. Galatasaray in the attack here. 2-1. 2-1. Just at a time when I was sticking up for Jose. It's the midfield. It's shocking. Absolutely shocking. Like a knife through butter. A hot knife. The midfield is where it's going wrong, by the way, if anybody doesn't know. 1-2 plus Herrera. Schneidlin not quick enough to get back. Decent finish into the bottom corner on the edge of the box. 1-2. 2-1 to them. That worked. 1-2, 2-1. Yeah, shocking. Absolutely shocking midfield. Really not happy with it, but what can you do? I will back Jose, but it fits in well. I will back Jose because he's taken over an absolute shambles from last season. Let's be honest, he is. It was a shambles, and some of these players still look like they are carrying a hangover from Van Gaal. He's got his work cut out. People start talking about us winning the league because we've made some decent signings. Well, Van Gaal had hundreds of £1 million, and it never worked, did it? So he's got a massive job to do. He shouldn't be criticised for it. It's going to take time. I would not be selling Schweinsteiger because I look at that midfield and it's poor. Herrera's starting to get sloppy now. Herrera started the game probably about 7 to 8 out of 10. He's finishing the half around 6. Schneidlin looks very, very rusty. ESB, Jose out. No, Jose gets a year from me. Back to what I was saying. It is only a pre-season game. He's got a lot of hard work to do. And the midfield's going to be the biggest problem. I said it a few minutes ago. Number 10 is the most important position in a team because you support the midfield and you feed the attackers. If your number 10's not good enough, that causes a problem. Don't have any illusions. Jose will take Rooney out if he can do it. Lots of people commenting now. I'm just trying to pick something out. The law of attraction. Pogba's got to come. He will do. I hope he's not watching. Time is out of sync due to goals. Only by about 4 seconds for me. It's just because it's a live stream. We're getting bossed again. It's very similar to Dortmund. We are getting bossed. Absolutely bossed in the midfield. Being passed around. Schneider's being given the run of Sweden. And I blame Van Gaal. Oh, foul. Surely a foul. Not a foul. If it wasn't a foul on Rooney, then we were in. A big factor I would throw out there again is, where's the leadership? Who's the captain? Rooney's the captain as well. We do need some leadership in this team. Loads of people shouting out for Pogba. This is Galatasaray's 5th game apparently. Shameful defending. Why you what? Youngsters can't defend, need experience to defend. Well, we need an experienced centre-back. 100% we need an experienced centre-back. But that midfield's just not good enough. On paper it should be. Schneidlin should be a good defensive midfielder. Herrera should be a good box-to-box. And Rooney, it's the only position he can play number 10. So he should be playing well in it for the money he earns. He should be playing well in it. It's 2-2. Oh. Bad pass by the goalkeeper, crashes it across to his penalty box. Zlatan's running towards it. The defender gets there first. It's a corner. I thought he put it in his own goal. Callum saying, don't forget Schneidlin played alongside Wanyama at Southampton. A very good point. Red Army blames jet lag. Nobody attacking the ball, says Ben Jackson. Very good point. Missing Smalling. Well, if we're missing Smalling, we're in trouble. We shouldn't be relying on Chris Smalling. Overhit cross by Rooney, but Zlatan gets up there, heads it back across. Nobody's attacking it. This is the problem. We're awful at corners. I would go and spend 40 million on Manolas because he'll win everything in our box and he'll win everything in their box as well. We need a centre back who can do that. I'm not even sure. Oh, Blind. It was a good ball actually. Need to get Mkhitaryan in the game. Very, very quiet. Who scored for Brandiante? Zlatan scored for us. I don't know who scored for Galatasaray. Rooney down the left side now. At least he's playing the number 10 position advanced and not dropping deep. He just needs to do better with his final ball. Oh. For anybody who's watching what I just said, when he said he needs to do better with his final ball, he just give it to a Galatasaray player. An absolute shocking half by Rooney. Really, really poor. It's half time. Just sending a tweet. It is half time. I was actually quite shocked. That last few minutes went quite quick, but I suppose it's probably the goal that did that. Yeah, well, let's fly into it then. I want to get your thoughts, obviously. I want to know what you're thinking. Again, I'm not going to melt down. I don't melt down on pre-season games. I like to see the positives and take the positives. It's disappointing. It is disappointing that we've gone 1-0 up and we're now 2-1 down. But I think what it shows is, and I hopefully a few of you will pick up on this as well, is that this is not fantasy football. It's not FIFA. We've made some very good signings, but you can't. You know, John Iarty was saying there and sort of being a bit. You know, you can't give Jose a free pass. You can give Jose a free pass because it's a mess that he's taken over. He's taken over an absolute mess. The team was a shambles last year. You know, if you're watching that first half, there's performances in that first half that are still very reminiscent of last year. It's like a hangover from last year. There's still people playing the same way. Lazy, not biting, not pressing. It's going to take Jose more than a few weeks to get that in. He might need to get rid of these players completely. Their careers might be destroyed already because of what Louis van Gaal did to them. Rooney's performance in that half, I wouldn't give him a 4 or a 3 out of 10 like some people did in games last season. I wouldn't give him any higher than a 5 because he has made some tackles. He isn't dropping deep. He's playing the number 10 position where he should be in the right positions. But his first touch and his final ball are shocking. And when your number 10's doing that, of course Mkhitaryan's going to have a quiet game. Of course Martial's going to have a quiet game. Of course Zlatan's going to feed off scraps because the number 10's not doing the... You know, I think 90% of his final ball was passed to a Galatasaray player or out of play. Shocking first half final ball from Rooney. And that is costing us. Jose will know that. Schneidlin not taking the opportunity to run that midfield. Very good point made in the first half on the live comments about, yes, he played well for Southampton, but he had Wanyama alongside him. Well, we know Wanyama's a beast. Schneidlin, maybe he's just not the player. He should be given an opportunity. I've said Schneidlin, Herrera, Memphis, Darmian need to be given an opportunity this year because Van Gaal suppressed them. Maybe Schneidlin won't be good enough. Maybe he won't. What makes me worried because a lot of Manchester United for the last few years, Carrick taking the ball off the back foot and then feeding people is very important. We can't rely on Carrick to do that anymore. He's on the decline. He'll probably only play 20 to 25 games next season. But don't sell Schweinsteiger and rely on Schneidlin as that defensive midfielder. Schweinsteiger will take the ball off the back four and feed the players. I'd rather Schweinsteiger than Schneidlin. I don't want him to be sold. Herrera started the game quite well. Joshua was saying he did good. He started the game really well and then started to lose confidence towards the end. Valencia and Shaw, hard to judge because nothing's really coming down the flanks anyway, forward or backwards. Valencia did set up the Zlatan goal. Daly Blind and Bailly, I thought I was right to blame them for the goal. I am right. Where were they for the first goal? They're not there. The closest people to the ball, which was scored from a header on the penalty spot from a cross, was Zlatan, Rooney and Martial. One of your centre-backs has got to be there. Whether that's Jose or whether that's the defenders themselves, this is the problem. This is why we need an experienced centre-back. This is why we need a Vidic or a Manolas from Roma because Manolas wins everything in the air. We need to put a centre-back in that defence who's going to go and win every ball. Like I was saying in the first half, Vidic didn't bother marking people because any cross into the box, he would win it. He was like, I don't care, I will win that ball. We need somebody like that because it will help us defensively, but it will also help us offensively when it comes to corners as well. To be losing, disappointing. Galatasaray, very much like Dortmund, not as technically good as Dortmund, but they're passing the ball around, they're dictating the play, they're controlling the game. Yes, we might be behind them when it comes to fitness, but that doesn't excuse the fact that our passing should be better, and it should be better. We need to be better. I'm disappointed because it's 45 minutes from a team that I actually liked the starting lineup from. We're going to see different players coming in the second half. I think it's a massive shame that Pereira's not there because I'd actually put him on for Schneiderlin and get him to take the ball off the back four and pass it around because I thought he was doing that well in the last 2 games. Who's going to come on? Get Carrick on. It will make a big difference in that Schneiderlin position. Seriously, I would take Rooney off and get Mata on at number 10. I think we need a number 10 who can grab the game, or I would put Young on the right and put Mkhitaryan in at the number 10. We need somebody at number 10. He's not going to take Rooney off, is he? That's the problem, but I would take him off. There's a comment here I've got to read. It says, I think Pogba could play alongside Morgan with Herrera playing at number 10. Thoughts? That's from Saif Rushdie. Yeah, it can happen. A lot of it's going to be about how long he's going to wait to see if Rooney can get his form back. Rooney might get his form back. He's not had it for 2 years. He might do. He's got to do it in the number 10 position. But the reality is, I don't know whether he can do it because that number 10 position, you've got to dictate and run the team. And I don't know whether Rooney can do that, but he can't play it anywhere else. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. Rooney out, Mata in, says Febriantar. Guys, we need to see this crap players. We need to clear out, says Anthony. I said it yesterday when I looked at the squad. There's a lot of dead wood in there. And he might just have to do it. He might have to bite the bullet and do it. Maybe he was planning to do it anyway. Sub Rooney, says Abu. Mata, we won't make top 4 with this team, says Happy Ricks. It's too early to say that. Someone's laughing that Galatasaray are winning. Zlatan needs feeding, Jay Zill. Never a true word said. He does. Shame to see Rooney a shadow of his former self, says Mark 79. A defender and a central midfielder. Everyone, Varane is a beast. We need Cristiano Ronaldo. HG Karki, he won't be coming. I wouldn't worry too much, it's only pre-season, says David Connolly. I think you can switch that 2 ways, David, really. You can say it's only pre-season and people are playing themselves into form. And I think with the likes of Martial and Zlatan, that's fine because we know they will play. But I think if you're Morgan Schneiderlin or you're Herrera or you're Rooney, you might not be playing next season. We've got a lot of options in midfield. You might not be playing next season. So, yeah, it's only pre-season, but play at 100 miles an hour and shine and show that you're good enough. There's no excuse. A worrying thought for you, I'll say one word, Fellaini. I expect he'll probably come on and play quite well because can't be doing much worse than what everybody else has done in the midfield. We need control and dominance in the midfield, says Daniel Rayner. Never a true word said. We can't just rely on Pogba, says Edward Ward. Maybe people will be shouting for Matuidi now. Rooney is red. Only 2 weeks till Premier League. Let's panic now, says Lewis. United stand, smashing somebody. Okay. Mickey has been very quiet. He's not getting a lot of the ball though. We've had a few opportunities with overlaps where if we got the ball right, we were in, but we've just not done it. Marino already knows his best team. Mark, one question. Why is Rooney still playing? It's a very good question from Pointless Drawings. Dave Poulton, least Rooney gets to say goodbye on Wednesday. Bye-bye. Dave Poulton, big shout out for him. I think I've called him Daniel and other things. Drop Rooney. Bastian was a star at Bayern, but they sold him. Sell Rooney, Willie Bird, Anguilla. We need Vidic. We need a Vidic type player to win everything in the box. Mark, please read, says Leprechaun Irish. Do we need Delph? No. Do you think we'll keep Bastian? No. Gamer Sid, I don't. I think we should though. Square peg, round hole, Puffin. That could be the problem with Rooney now. I don't know whether he's got a position. That's the problem. He might prove us all wrong. Marking on set pieces is abysmal, says Fawaz Sharafa. Very, very true. Gaming King Zed's MUFTV said Ibra and Rooney have linked really well. I think that's probably a big reason why a lot of people mute that particular channel and watch the watch along for the commentary, because it's shocking, absolutely shocking. I thought I'd mute it if I didn't do this. Really poor analysis, really poor. But having said that, they've got a brand to sell, so maybe they're just saying it's great so people will buy more shirts. But you don't get very real opinion. It's very, very poor. So stick with United Stand when we do watch-alongs if you want a real opinion on a match. Mark, we need to find where Louis van Gaal is. Buried the Horcrux, says Wilf. Last season, defence rubbish, attack good, other way now. How long do you think Rooney will last at Man U, says Zach Tranny? I'm quite cynical about that. I just think we'll just keep playing Rooney, even though he shouldn't. Jordan Coffey saying that changes will come. Where do you watch the game, says Ryan. I watch it on MUTV. Maybe we should go after Bruma to play on the right and Mickey in the middle. Rooney's the best, says Epic Gamer. We'll win this match. Rooney does that. Oh, and what I'm going to say is, and what I'm really happy about, Raymond Doyle is saying that MUTV is better analysis than ours. Yeah, mate. You're totally right. How can you panic? Pre-season means nothing in my opinion. Saw last year when we won 5 from 5, including Barcelona. Luke plays. He's made some very good comments throughout this watch along. Lynn Hall, Herrera can't shine when he has to concentrate on helping the defence and can't play forward. Good point. You cannot leave out Rooney, says Matthew Morgan. I know Rooney divides opinion, but he needs to improve massively. How do you pick your first team out of this lot? Says Red Prepper. Mark, you might get poached by MUTV. Well, the offer's there. Do it for free. You'll get more analysis, but I don't think they'd like it. Rooney should become free agent. Is it half time? It is half time. I'll tell you when it kicks off because I'll start the clock. But what I'm happy with on there, and I didn't expect any of you to go against it, what I'm happy with is that none of you are shouting Jose out or getting on him too much. Yes, it's very hard to understand what the tactics are. Yes, it's not great. We are being dominated like we were against Dortmund. But yes, where are we coming from? We're coming from a team that was lucky to finish 5th, that played abysmal football last year, that didn't score 50 goals, which is shocking for Manchester United, that was totally reliant on our goalkeeper for 2 seasons, where players have been suppressed so much that they're probably having a hangover still. It's going to take time. It's going to take time for Jose to sort this out, and there can be no criticism of him yet. It is only pre-season. I think the players should be doing more. I think they need to get over that hangover, get some Alka-Seltzer and start forgetting what happened under Van Gaal and start expressing themselves and taking this new opportunity. But any criticism of the manager is ridiculous. It's his early days. He's got a massive job on his hands. I'm just seeing faces flash up on the screen there, and Phil Jones, Ashley Young, Rojo, Fellaini, Valencia. They need to go. They're not. You're not gonna. It's not good enough. Not good enough. And I trust Jose to get it right at some point, but it may take a bit of time. But he deserves that time, and he will get that time. Having said that, I'm not going to just blindly say everything he does is great. He should have sold Fellaini straight away. He's kept him. If he sells Pereira, I'll be absolutely furious. If he loans Fosu Mensah, I'll be furious. I don't think there's enough youth in the squad for this Sweden game. Rashford's basically it. But, I do back the manager. These players just need confidence, says Raymond Doyle. They do, and hopefully they will get that. But they've got to find that himself. Judge Ed XD says, even with the new signings, United seem to be awful. Not sure if Pogba will save us. Earlier chat, people were abusing each other. Were they? Jose needs to go. Carrick fan, Fellaini's warming up. Hooray! People need to chill. It's just a friendly. Miss Scott. I mean, the dangerous thing is, everyone was so bad in that half. If Fellaini comes on and does well, everyone's going to get back on the Fellaini bandwagon, aren't they? But there you go. We are very close to 3,000 likes on a video. I don't think we've ever had 3,000 likes on a video. We've got 2,700. Please drop us a like if you haven't done already. It's just below the video. It's one click, and it would be great. We've just done a whole half together, talking about the match, me and you. The watch along is massively about you. It's your video, it's your channel, so you're just liking yourself. So thanks everybody so far. It's been amazing. We had nearly 10,000 watching before kickoff, which was superb. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Keep getting involved. Just a little bit about United Stand. It is your channel. It always has been. We're massively about interacting with you and your opinions. It is a place to say it how it is. And we do shows weekdays every night at 8:30. We're live for about half an hour, 40 minutes. So do tune in for that, 8:30 UK time. Mostly talking about transfers at the moment, but everything United related. The Sunday night show was the flagship show for the United Stand. Every night, every Sunday at 8:30. That will be on tomorrow. And at the moment, while it's the off season, I will be live tomorrow morning at 10:30 talking transfers, because we get a lot of crap in the papers on a Sunday morning here. So we'll be doing that at 10:30. And I will be doing a match reaction a bit later. When the game finishes, we'll stop the watch along and I'll probably go and have a bite to eat and then do a match reaction about half an hour later, when we've all had a bit of time to digest things, seen what Jose said. I think that's really important. So lots going on, and it is your channel and it is growing and it's absolutely fantastic. And I just hope that one day that the wider media will start taking a notice of what the United Stand's doing and start giving the fans a vocal voice in the media, because we'll never lose you, we'll never forget you, and we'll take you on whatever journey this channel goes. We took you from 10 viewers and you've always been with us, some of you, and we'll take you from 3,000 viewers and we'll take you when we're at 10,000 if we're lucky enough to get that, because eventually they'll start listening. And the refreshing thing about the United Stand is, and I keep saying this to you, it's not about the players, it's not about the manager, it's about the club, it's about the fans, and it's about the badge. They're the three things that will always stay. Players and managers will come and go. Don't be afraid to criticise. Don't be afraid to say what you think. If you believe it, say it and back it up and have your opinion, because it will always be respected on this channel. People get scared of saying, oh, you know, Rooney's not good enough, and people go, oh, you should always back your players and everything like this, or Lingard's not good enough, or whatever like that, or that was a shocking pass by whoever. Say it, have it, say your opinion. You're the most important people. We've been doing this for 18 months now, and I've always said it. Your opinion matters much more to me than Wayne Rooney or any United player. And I love Zlatan coming on and speaking about Manchester United. I'd rather listen to you because you support the club and you're the most important people. And that's what this is about. I think you get the best opinion from fans. And we've been saying it for 18 months. It's not just a gimmick. Saying it how it is for the fans, that's what we do. I've said my bit. Can we clone Zlatan and play him everywhere, says Nicholas. He was dropping into the midfield in that half. First touch good, passing good. Yeah, like him a lot. It'd be interesting to see what he does with Fellaini. You know what? When it comes to Fellaini, I want him to be sold. But if Jose decides to keep him, I'll trust him. And maybe he's an option from the bench, but he cannot start games. He cannot start games. If you start Fellaini in your team, forget thinking we're going to win the league. That's what I would say about that. I've never hated Fellaini. He's just not good enough for me in a Manchester United team. It's the Ashley Williams thing. If we signed Ashley Williams, I'd be like, he's not good enough. Zayef says he loves me. We love all you lot as well. You make the channel what it is. We definitely need Pogba and a defender, says Christian Hurtu. We do, Christian. You're spot on. We'll get Pogba. We need a commanding, experienced centre-back. But most of all, we need a centre-back who is going to win things in the air. And if you know anything about Costas Manolas from Roma, he wins. He virtually wins every aerial duel. But he's the number one in Serie A for winning aerial duels. That is what we need. That is what we need. We've hit 3,000 likes. You are absolutely superb. Absolutely superb. I cannot thank you enough. And all I can say is we will just keep doing this for you and giving everything we can for this channel and you, because you're sensational. You're absolutely sensational. And it is your channel. And you make it what it is. So, absolutely humbled. Really am. I'm wondering how many changes we will see second half. Mark, do you not like Fellaini because of how he was brought to the club or because of his ability? Great question, Brendan Coons. The lad I started the United Stand with, who won't come in front of the camera, he might be watching, he might not be, Michael. When we signed Fellaini on transfer deadline day, it went right to the very end. We were messaging each other and I was saying, I hope it falls through. A bit like David De Gea, I hope it falls through. I don't want him to sign for Manchester United. I've never liked Fellaini. I've seen him quite a few games live when he was at Everton, obviously against Manchester United. The reason he did well at Everton is because he played at number 10 and Everton would find Leighton Baines at left back, who was very accurate with a 40-yard ball to the number 10, and his chest control is really good. He's quite strong, he holds the ball, he feeds other people. It's a long ball. That's not Manchester United, so I hated that straight away. Apart from his chest control, Fellaini is crap on the ball, he's crap at passing the ball, he's very slow, and his technique is poor. What's not to like? You know, that's why I don't like Fellaini. I just don't like him as a footballer, and I think he makes us very one-dimensional as a team. He slows us down as a team. When the ball goes through him, he slows us down as a team. Lingard's on, Rashford's on, Carrick's on, Bay's still on, Luke Shaw's still on, De Gea's still on, Jones hasn't come on, Darmian's not come on, Memphis hasn't come on, Matt has not come on. Zlatan has come off. Rojo's not come on. I'm only looking at who's on the pitch at the moment, so Romero's obviously not come on because De Gea is. I can't see Fellaini, so I presume he has come on. Rashford probably goes to number 9. Yeah, Fellaini is coming on. Carrick's coming on. Lingard's coming on. Young's coming on. I would imagine Mkhitaryan's probably come off. I'd imagine Martial's come off. I'll be amazed if we win this game now with Fellaini coming on. As soon as I know, or anybody knows, I'll let you know. They're really slow as well at flashing stuff up on here. I think there'd be a bit of a meltdown about Fellaini, to be honest, but let's have a look if anybody on there knows anything. Mark, please read. Heard of Harambe? He's what we need. Leprechaun Irish. Never heard of him. Sorry, I haven't. This is Galatasaray's 5th game of the season. Liquid Hill. Yeah. Right, so we can get a bit of a grasp of what's going on now. Rashford's gone straight up front for Zlatan, obviously. It's the same back four with Shaw, Valencia, Bay and Blind. Ashley Young's gone to the right in place of Mkhitaryan. Rooney is still on. Shocking. Lingard is over on the left in place of Martial. Carrick's come to take the ball off the back four. Rooney's still in the team. And Fellaini's box to box. It's what dreams are made of, everybody. Young with a decent cross. No, it's not a decent cross. Really amazed. But you know what? Rooney's further ahead of everybody else, isn't he, for when it comes to pre-season training? So him staying on the pitch probably isn't that bad. I mean, some people are saying on Twitter, Rooney's still on the pitch. Shocking and a bad sign for the future. He needs to be dropped. Well, let's see if we can do any better. It's impossible for me to say what's happening with the Galatasaray team because I just don't know anything about it. But I've took your advice, by the way, and I've slowed down on the drinking. There's Fellaini, won a foul. Well done. He looks like an. You know what? It makes my blood boil. It really does make my blood boil. I don't think it's a hatred of him personally. I think it's more when I see him in a Manchester United shirt, it just makes me feel ill. And yet again, even if you are a Fellaini fan, good little run here from Luke Shaw, feeds it into Rooney, overhits the 1-2, and it's a corner though. Even if you like Fellaini, the problem with this again is he's not playing as the number 10. We were talking about it a few minutes ago. When he played at Everton, he played at number 10. You hit him, he controls the ball, he brings people into the play. He's playing this ridiculous position that he can't play, which is either defensive midfielder or centre or box to box. He is neither. It's a cross now. Though. Watch him score from a corner. No, punched clear. We're shocking at corners, and unfortunately, that is continuing. We've had a few corners in this game and they've all been pretty poor. Rooney's got it out on the flank now, puts a cross in. It's probably the worst cross I've ever seen and easily cleared by Galatasaray. You know what? I'm going to be quite honest. I mean, we're using squad players here, but I'm going to give it a few minutes from what I was going to say because I might hopefully be proved wrong. Offside again. We're getting caught offside a lot. We're obviously trying to get in behind their back four. Johnny Blasey saying drink like a fish. I will, but I can feel the start of a wee coming on. So I have no guess. So at some point in this second half, are you all going to stay if I pop off for a quick wee? I'll only be a minute. I will wash my hands. The clock needs to kick off. Jesus Christ! I'm nothing without you. Okay, let's start the clock. We are on 48.3, so that would be stop the clock. 3. There we go. Perfect. I mean, what I would say is that Ashley Young's done quite well out on the right. He's getting a lot of the ball, way more than Mkhitaryan did. And actually, Ashley Young has spent the last 2 years playing as a fullback. Thank you, Lou Van Gaal. When you put him out on the right, that's where I wanted him to play there a lot last season. Mr. Galaxy says you're better than MUTV. Thank you very much. Really, really good. Dave Polton, 3,500 people shout clock at once, laugh out loud. Andre Robinson, what is the match time? We are 4 minutes into the second half, and you've got the watch time there now, which is brilliant. We're a family on the United Stand Army, as you like it to be called. I'd like to call it a family. I can't do this without you. We can do more of these. I don't mind doing watch-alongs. We will have guests during the season. That's what we normally do. It's a massive ask for me to talk for 2 hours, especially when we go live beforehand. Rooney skipped through a couple of tackles there. He's found it wide. If he can get that in quick enough, Fellaini's got all sorts of time. Poor cross. He took two chances now, Ashley Young, with lots of times, and he's put it in the goalkeeper's arms. But he's getting a lot of the ball. Yeah, it's going to be hard to do watch-alongs all the time when it's just me and you. But whilst Galatasaray have got the ball, I'll throw it out to you because there's a lot of you watching again. When we're doing watch-alongs, would you rather it was just me and you, or would you like us to have a guest that I can throw it to so I can have a little bit of a break? Let me know, and we'll always listen. It's always a democracy on the United Stand. Final score prediction, says Elliot Haynes. I think we'll lose. You know what? I do. I think we'll lose. If we kept the same people from the first half, I think we might have been able to change it around. The difficulty with pre-season, and Luke Plays was saying it is only pre-season, is if you're losing this game in a normal league game, and it'd have to be in a Europa League game, wouldn't it? You wouldn't make 11 subs or 5 subs as we've made. You probably wouldn't make any subs, and you'd give people a kick up the backside. They'd come out second half and have a go. The reality is we haven't done that because Schneiderlin Carrick with a misplaced pass there. We haven't done that because we've travelled to Sweden and Jose needs to give everybody some game time, which is right. But I'm not confident that this team second half is good enough to beat Galatasaray, is my answer. Blaine O'Hare he says 3-2 to United. Oh, Jason Ball saying 3-2 to Galatasaray. Final result 2-2, says Mr. Galaxy. Get Dan on, says Football and FIFA. He will be on. He's on holiday in Ibiza at the moment. Lucky him. Big shout out to Mad Mark, who does the moderating on the channel. He's been superb. Give Gigs the job. Brandon Coombs. Oh, shit. I've started till I finish. They are doing one. So we haven't won the war. But I think our stats are way, way better. I'm sure they'll keep fighting. The war's never won, but it's a shame. But we're not going down that road. All I want to talk about is the United Stand and football, and what anybody else is doing anymore. Screw them. Let them carry on. We've always said we'll work with anybody, but all I'm bothered about is the United Stand and football. Galatasaray in the penalty box here. Bailey very strong, and he'll get a free kick. New blue kit, awful. We're not Chelsea, says United man. I quite like the United blue kit. Somebody saying welcome to hell. Maybe a Galatasaray fan. You're very welcome. We don't mind having opposition fans on there as long as you don't start being abusive or whatever like that. You're more than welcome. I think as United fans, we've always been, especially over the last few years, I'm never bothered about bitter rivals like Liverpool and Arsenal trying to wind us up, because I'm always the biggest critic of United if we're not doing well. And I think a lot of United fans are. I don't care about people winding us up, because I'll be the first to say, as a lot of you will, when we're doing things wrong. So, you're more than welcome if you're a Galatasaray fan. We're not about to start going mad. Jimmy Agala says, good point. I don't think Galatasaray had any transfer activity. Their team have more chemistry in pre-season games under the belt. A very good point again. Massive missing seats in this game for Sweden. I've never visited Sweden. I don't know whether we've got anybody watching from Sweden, but Bova says burn the deadwood. Definitely. A very good point. I'm going to use that on Twitter and add a little bit. But I would have gone. I'd love to have gone to Sweden and watch Manchester United play. It must be very expensive. A huge amount of empty seats. This was a game that was arranged quite late, though, and it was a game we definitely needed. I'm sure the press will have a go about it being having empty seats, etc. But it's a game we definitely needed because, especially that Man City game. I just look at Fellaini. It's like watching somebody in Rewind, the way he plods about. Just can't see what he offers to the team. And maybe I'm wrong. I don't think I am. I don't think I am. I think I'm right. Just Rooney got fouled there. Carrick playing slightly more advanced. Carrick is actually playing more advanced than Fellaini, so even better. We're sort of playing Fellaini as a holding midfielder now. It gets better and better, but a decent cross. Rooney, 2-2. It is 2-2. Good goal. Good goal. Valencia again down that right. Played Valencia on the right wing. You know, Valencia on the right wing used to be really good. He plays a 1-2 here with Rashford. It's a good 1-2. He cuts it back. Rooney scores it. It's a decent goal. I'm sorry, I'm just putting a tweet out for the goal because I've got to do that on my own as well. But for those who didn't see it, Valencia 1-2 with Rashford, cuts it back, and Rooney with the finish. It's a good goal. You know, I know people out there. I know people out there are against Rooney. I put a tweet out 10 minutes ago saying Rooney needs dropping, and then you get dickheads coming on and saying, now, you know, they love to troll an old tweet. I stand by that. I think Rooney on the first half needed to get dropped. I do stand by that. He scored a goal. I want Rooney to do well. It was a decent finish. The only place he can play is a number 10. But it's Valencia who makes the goal again. I mean, it's nothing like Zlatan's technical ability. It's a tap-in by Rooney, and it's good. I want Manchester United to do well. I've got to update the score. I know you're going to be moaning. But back to Valencia. He's set 2 goals up in this game. Don't fall into the trap that he should be playing at right back, because he's not a right back. But a shout out for Valencia might well be play him at right wing. He used to be a very good right winger. A very good right winger. I've changed the score. Don't worry. Rashford has been brilliant since he came on. Lee Poulton, absolutely, he has. He's getting involved in everything. Rashford's going to be an absolute star. He's going to be an absolute star. People get worried about Rashford. It's very difficult. It's very difficult for Rashford to get involved in the team when you've got someone like Zlatan and you've got Mkhitaryan on one side and Marshall on the left. But that, if we can sort our midfield out and our defensive midfield out and our centre backs out, then we've got 4 players who are going to light up the world. And Rashford, he's just got to come on. You know, last half an hour, somebody's injured. He's got it in the flanks here. He's going to get away from this centre-back. He's ran at him. He's into the box. He's passed 1. He's passed 2. Penalty. Oh, he's brilliant. He's absolutely brilliant. It is a penalty. It is a penalty. It is a penalty. Yes. Rashford on fire. That was absolutely brilliant. He gets it. He gets put into the corner. Burns 1. Little run. Past the goalkeeper 2. And it is a penalty to Manchester United. Zlatan's on his feet. Rooney, unfortunately, these goals won't count for Rooney's tally to break the record, but he steps up. And he scores! We're 3-2 up. Whoever said 3-2, well done that man. It's 3-2. 3-2. I've got to change the score again. It's all going off. And it's all because of Rashford. Brilliant. Absolutely superb. Really pleased. He just burned him off. Absolutely burned him off. And we are 3-2 up. Who'd have thought it? I said we weren't going to win this half with... I mean, Fellaini's not contributed to it. Let's not be stupid. But Rashford's the difference. Superb. And for anybody who didn't see it, when Rashford ran and got the penalty, Zlatan was stood up clapping him. Absolutely amazing. Amazing to see. And that shows you some real camaraderie, doesn't it? I'm just tweeting something because I have to keep up to date with that. But what I basically have said is Zlatan on his feet, clapping Rashford, brilliant. Rashford has turned this game around, world class already. And I don't throw world class out around, but that just not many players can do what he did there. He gets it in the right flank, he does him for pace, and then he does a little bit of skill, skips past the goalkeeper. Yeah, Rooney scores the penalty, whoopee shit. It was absolutely brilliant by Rashford. And he did the 1-2 with Valencia as well, and he's turned this game around. And it just shows you what can happen when you get the ball forward quick and you've got players who can cause problems. It's a fantastic problem for Jose to have. I know the calibre of the viewer on the United stand, so we don't need to worry too much. We're not going to just because Rooney scored twice, let's not pretend that he's had a good game. He's had a couple of tap-ins, he's had a tap-in and a penalty, but he is playing better in this second half. But there's one reason this game's turned around. Well, two really. Valencia playing very well on the offensive, and Rashford just different class. He's absolutely different class. Rashford is already something special, says Karzix. You're spot on. Andre Robinson, this is a very good comment from Andre Robinson. He says, so excited to see the development of Rashford's career. And I tell you what, we are, barring, we don't want any injury or anything like that ruining him. But it's a bit like Rooney when he started, and what a great thing that he wears a United shirt. We're at the start of something special, and as United fans, we're going to get to see him grow over the next few years, and he can be anything he wants to be. Absolutely brilliant. So what matter with Rooney now? He's still rubbish, says Lyndon Fish. I think Mata needs to get on, and Memphis needs to get on. It's not 4-2 football physics. Rooney hat-trick, Swifty probably will, and then he'll get all the press because the press love him, but he's far from being the best player. But what he is doing now, as he's just done there, and he did with the Rashford goal, he's feeding pace. He can't do with that with Zlatan. He's hitting the flanks for Rashford to run onto, and it's proving very, very successful, and that's getting the best out of Rooney. Fellaini just winning the ball there, can't knock him for that. Gives it into Carrick. Also, Carrick brings stability and something to build upon for the team. We're massively on the front foot now. Fellaini. Oh, he scored! Oh, God. God hath no mercy. I hate him. I hate him. I hate him in a Manchester United shirt. I can't help it. At least I'm honest. I don't like him in a Manchester United shirt. It's a cross. Is it Valencia who crosses it again? A hat trick of assists. What's happened to Valencia? Is he on drugs? I don't think he's had an assist. Well, I know he's had one or two, but a hat-trick of assists? Bloody hell. Absolutely unbelievable. Unbelievable. I get used to this. Loads of people give me loads of abuse about Fellaini because he scored a header in a pre-season friendly. Yeah, he's the answer to our problem. Pick Fellaini every week, we'll win the Premier League. Yeah, you're spot on. Ignore the fact that he's been trash for 2 years and was awful in the Euros, and has been pretty awful in midfield in this game so far. But he scores a goal from a header. So, yeah, let's build the team around him. Let's play him every week in defensive midfield. We'll run away with the league. I totally agree with you. I'm not being sarcastic at all. I'm not even going to say anything negative. Let's pick him every week and let's see what happens. What I would say is, and a lot of you are saying it there, nobody saw this coming, and Jose deserves a bit of credit. Well, he does. The players deserve a bit of credit. They're pressing. I think it's a bit of a false dawn to start saying it's the players who've come on compared to the first half. I think second half, if them players from the first half were still playing, you'd still see the same thing. What he's obviously telling them to do is press and get rid of the ball quicker, and we've done it to great effect. And Galatasaray have obviously dominated the first half, thought they were going to dominate the second half, and are now being dominated themselves. Valencia won't be going anywhere anymore. FMT TBG says Antonio Valencia to leave Manchester United for nearby rivals Liverpool. Valencia's been fantastic. He's got 3 assists, but I did say at the start of the game he's not a right back, and I stand by it. He's not a right back. He causes more problems defensively against decent sides who attack than he's worth. But he's made 3 goals. 3 goals. So you can't knock him about that. Look now, Fellaini's just rolled the ball back and done a pass. But in fairness to Ashley Young, what I would say is that he is playing at 100 miles an hour, which is what we said Schneiderlin should have done in the first half. There's players who have come on this second half and they are playing at 100 miles an hour like it's an opportunity. And Ashley Young, although he's put a couple of bad crosses in, he actually is trying really hard. And what I've always said about Ashley Young is he is... what's the words? He gets it. He gets it. He doesn't play well every game, but he always tries hard, which is good to see. Rooney with a poor layout, and one player we've not really seen anything of is Lingard. So he's not getting in the game at all. But everything's going down the right. Everything's going down the right. Which is another brilliant tactical bit of analysis from Goldbridge, because it took me a few minutes to realise it, but everything we are doing is down the right. Galatasaray on the attack now. I mean, I don't know whether that's a good thing or not. Take your views on that, but it's very difficult to say Shaw or Lingard second half because everything is going down the left. What?
You finished?
No. Finishes in 25 minutes. Told you half.
I've already heard people say you drunk too much, so
No, I haven't.
you said
I'm alive now. It's 8:30.
Come on.
Slight interruption there. Apparently I've been told that I've drunk too much. I've got a drink problem. I've literally had a can and I'm on my second can, which isn't even halfway down. Women. Lingard's too tired from the Dab University. Rojo's coming on for Luke Shaw. Just tweeted that out. We didn't really use the left side that much, which is a bit odd. Valencia is carrying the team. He's done really well. Darmian's coming on. Blin's gone off. A bit of a shame to see Darmian coming in at centre-back. That's a bit of a concern. Memphis is coming on and Matt is coming on. So hopefully we'll see Rooney off. And I don't know how they're going to fit this in. Yeah, Rooney's off. Lingard, Young. I don't know how we're going to get... Memphis will go to the left. Master Arano saying my missus is banging. She didn't even come into the screen. I'll take it you probably heard it. Man United have a chance for Poignant. Memphis. Getting told off by the mum. They want the mum. But it's bedtime, Mark. Who's that, Mark? That was my other half. That wasn't my mum. Don't believe the myths that I do this in my bedroom. So we've made changes. Rashford. Lingard's gone to the right. Memphis has gone to the left. Matt has gone in at number 10. Fellaini and Carrick holding the midfield. Darmian, I think, has gone into centre-back. So I think Ashley Young's probably gone right-back again. I mean, it's just ridiculous. People are saying Mark Valencia is the best player. He's gone off. Yeah. So Matt is in at number 10. Still 20 minutes to go. Amazing that we're winning 4-2. Hangout question mark says Tom Caffrey. Not sure what that means. I've seen it a couple of times. Your bedroom is lovely, says Choose Garner. Memphis, Mark, love Rashford. Go on, Jesse. Should it? Valencia assisted. Yeah. Darmian's gone to left back. Sorry. Rojo's centre back with Jones, and Young's gone to right back. That's what I was just trying to establish there. Jones and Rojo centre back. That's a bit of a concern. I think we'll lose 10-4 now. What you got planned for the rest of your evening, United Stand Army? I'm going to watch Heat, I think. I'm going to have something to eat and then I'm going to watch Heat. I'll have something to eat and then I'll do a match reaction, probably about half an hour after this, around 9 o'clock. And then obviously tomorrow morning we're back at 10:30 with basically review of the transfer news from all the Sunday papers, etc. Well, say papers, it's not really papers now, I don't read papers. All the websites and stuff. So that'll be good. 20 minutes to go. Thoughts on the game? How's it gone? What are you thinking? Why am I drinking Liverpool beer? That's a good point. You know what I did the other week though, because Nivea skincare thing, they sponsor Liverpool now, and I was having a shave and it was Nivea sensitive cream. That's why I haven't had a shave for a while, because I need to buy some more, because I threw it out. I wouldn't wipe my arse with it. Please shout out Quinn Jack and Shay and Declan, says Jack Haywood. Happy to do it. Mark, miss second half update, please. Dan Butterworth. Dan, you be getting me to do a second half update. Well, it was 2-1 at half time in this game, and we made a load of substitutions. We brought Fellaini on, we brought Carrick on for Schneiderlin, Fellaini on for Herrera, Rashford on for Zlatan, Lingard on for Martial, and Young on for Mkhitaryan. But the big change was Rashford. Second goal was Valencia, 1-2 with Rashford, crossed it into the box, tap in for Rooney. Third goal, Rooney fed Rashford in the flank. He ran at his centre-back, went past him into the box, past the keeper, tripped, goalkeeper, penalty, Rooney put it away, 3-2. Fourth goal, Valencia, hat-trick of assists, crossed it over to the back post, Fellaini unmarked, loop header, 4-2. Try not to think about that one too much. But Rashford's been superb. Rashford's the reason we're in front. He's been absolutely amazing. Is United dominating the game, says Fabrianto? Yes, we are. I don't know what's happened to Galatasaray in this second half. I don't know whether they've kept a lot of the same players on. But even, Fellaini's passing it around like Xavi. It's very easy for us. Memphis there skips past one. He needs to be doing this sort of thing. He's gone past the same player twice. He feeds it into Mata. Roll back. Lingard, why didn't you hit it on the edge of the box? Comes back to Carrick, feeds it out to Memphis again. Lingard again, not thinking with the final ball. Should just have hit that and it would have been a very good goal. It was well worked between Mata and Memphis. Memphis needs to be playing 100 miles an hour like bloody Messi every game if he wants to get into our team. But that was decent, and he made the right choice, which he didn't do a lot of last season. Michael Williams says, and it's a very good point, it's great that we've got two different types of number 9. It makes us very interchangeable and will cause the opposition problems. You've got Zlatan, the big number 9 who you can hit and he can create things. You've got Rashford, again, big, you can hit him, but he can also run in behind. It gives us lots of options. He's spot on. And as I said in the first half, don't be surprised that Zlatan could actually play number 9. Darmian was in again behind the back four, but it's a foul. I really hope Darmian does well. I really like Darmian, and I think Mourinho can get the best out of him. 36,000 subscribers apparently we've got. Subscribe to the United Stand. It's really important that you do that because you'll always get notifications of when we go live. We've always been the channel that drives live interactive videos. When we started, nobody did it, and now a lot of people do it, and that's fine. They can do it. That's fine. But we are massive about live content. We try to tell you when we're going to go live. It's 8:30 weekdays every night, talking transfers and the latest news. Sunday night 8:30 is the Sunday night show. Tomorrow morning at 10:30. We always try and tell you when we're going to go live, and there's a load of times that you can join in. But if you subscribe to us on YouTube, you will get a notification when we go live anyway. So subscribe. Cyrus wants a shout out. I think it was Cyrus Sahidi. Rashford baby, says Woods M32. Yeah, Rashford baby, superb. Mark, what implications does Rashford's development have on Martial, says Brandon Coombs? I think very little. Martial will play left side, and he should play left side for 2 years. I'm old enough to remember the development of Thierry Henry, who went on to become probably the best striker that's ever played in the Premier League. Mata's playing really well. Lovely little bit of touch. Finds Carrick on the edge. Carrick, Mata, brilliant! Brilliant, absolutely brilliant goal. That's a big shout out for Mata because it was really skillful. He fed it to Carrick and then he gets on the end of it. Superb by Mata. He's going to be a squad player this year, but it was superb and it's good to see a number 10 playing well. 5-2. 5-2. Have it. And if you're a Mata fan, you'll love that goal. Go on, Juan. It's good. It's all good. You know, I've got nothing against Mata. I think he, you know, maybe he deserves a second chance the same as maybe he deserves a second chance just like everybody else. It was a great goal. A really, really good goal. Really good goal. Galatasaray have just fell asleep, haven't they? They really have fell asleep. People are saying what's gone wrong in the second half. I think Jose gave us a bollocking in the second half. And I think Galatasaray probably went to sleep. Really did. I'm just writing some notes, actually. I should always do this for my live show because it just helps me. But yeah, it was a brilliant, brilliant goal by Mata. But I do think it came down to a bollocking because we've suddenly started pressing. Valencia. I'm back. Hey Mark, what's up, bro? Says Jeremy. I'm all right, thanks, mate. Doing really well. It's been a busy, long evening, but it's always great to see 5 goals. For anybody who's been with us from the very start, obviously we start the watch-alongs about an hour before the game actually kicks off, and we had a chat. We had Martin and Alex on as guests before, and I said I want to see at least 3 goals. We've seen 5. I've not updated the score. Nothing. I said if I didn't have you lot, we'd be still 0-0. So we've seen 5 goals, which is great. One of the things I said that would happen under Jose is that, unlike under Van Gaal, we'll actually create a lot more chances. We are creating chances. We're taking the chances. We were always quite good at taking the chances under Van Gaal, actually. I think we just didn't create many of them. But that's one positive that we can take from the Van Gaal era from the players, is that the players are quite clinical when it comes to finishing. 5-2. Mata in at number 10 has actually played better than Rooney, controversial or not. I think he has. He's getting the ball. He's laying it off like he just did then. I throw it out there. I've changed the score. It's 5-2 on mine. Unless they've scored again, which they haven't. Mark, we do a watch-along for the Leicester game. Sev, yes we will. Yes we will. Could you please shout out Captain Phoenix? I just did. Score. Why is everyone telling me to do the score? Are you that far behind? It's 5-2. Who scored the 5th goal? It was Mata, but Rashford's just suddenly away down the left here. He'll probably take his man on. More. Back post. Ah! Oh, he did so many crossovers there, Rashford, and just sort of hit Memphis. It's a shame it didn't go all the way, though, because Mata was on the back post for another tap-in. There's goals if you're playing at number 10 for Manchester United, though. What's that? Rooney's got 2, Mata's got 1. I'd like to see a bit. There's 10 minutes to go. I'd like to see a little bit more of Memphis, because Galatasaray have just fell apart here. And I would say that Galatasaray have fell apart a bit. Memphis +1. It'll be a foul. No, he didn't give the foul. Why didn't he give a foul? Carrick. Awful. Oh, no, it's not. No, it wasn't. I don't know what he's doing. It's not a free kick. Memphis is moaning about it. He's not given the free kick. It was a free kick. But Memphis has got it back now. Watch him shoot in anger. Hits the defender. Shame. Anyway, we can get both Ibra and Rashford on the field, says Connor Campbell. Yeah, well, I was saying that in the first half. It's not impossible that Ibra can play number 10. He can play there. He's got very good technical ability for a tall man. He could play at number 10. Then you'd have Rashford ahead of him. There are options there. I don't think we should do that, but he could play as a number 10, definitely. Lingard's on side here. He's into the right flank position. Just feed Mata. Mata's into the box. Oh, hit the defender into the goalkeeper's arms. Joe Smith saying Memphis is great right now. I wouldn't say he's great. Done all right. Shout out my girlfriend Laura, please, says the Red Devils 22. Rooney is better, says Subject 17. Well, it's good to have that battle, isn't it? Luke plays. I've read your comment about the 370 dislikes. I'm just not giving them airtime. I don't. You know, we shouldn't. We don't need to. We know what this is. I'm focused on you and Manchester United. We shouldn't give them airtime. If they want, you know, let them do what they want to do. Rooney's finished, says Live Forever LG. Well, you know, we've got options. The great thing is about Manchester United, we've got loads of options. And, you know, even this clown running forward with the ball there, Fellaini, it's an option, isn't it? It's the wrong option, but he's an option. And miracles could happen. We could still sell him. Shout out to my gran who turns 92, says King Say Official. I hope you're not blagging me with the shout outs. In fact, I know what you will be now. My cat is watching the United Stand, says Hairy Hands. Not gonna lie, Mark. Phil Jones looks good, says Blaine. What, his hair? Shout out to Gareth. The referee is not very good, says Taj Singh. Well, he didn't say that. He said the referee is tanker. Remove T, replace with a W. Rooney will remain number 10, says Subject 17. I think he will do, yeah. I think he will, but it's nice to have options. And I always said that Mata wouldn't be sold. And it's nice to see Mata playing in number 10 like he used to 2 or 3 years ago, because he's never done that for Manchester United. And maybe he's just not had the manager to do it. I'm going to say, you know what I'm going to say to you? I don't normally do this. I'm going to write it on my pad and paper. And I'm going to use it as a teaser. And whether you go off and do your own thing later on tonight or not, or whether you are going to watch my match reaction, which I'm going to do probably about half an hour. It'll be a totally different stream, half an hour after the game. I'm keeping something back totally for that I'm going to tell you about, that nobody's mentioned in there, about why this game has changed. So whether you watch it live half an hour after the game, or you just come back and visit the United Stand tomorrow morning or later on, I'll save it for that. Bit of a teaser, but I want to talk about it for a couple of minutes, and there's not really going to be an opportunity now. But there's a massive reason why this game has changed, and I have said it a lot of times in the past, so regular viewers will probably pick up on it. But there we go. Tenzin says Memphis should start. What are you going to drop him for, mate, though? Who are you going to drop him for? That's the problem. You're going to drop him for Carrick? You're going to drop him for... not Carrick? What am I on about? Have I given it? Oh, spoiler. Are you going to drop him for Martial? Are you going to drop him for Mkhitaryan? Probably not. I mean, Mkhitaryan's had a couple of quiet games, but I think he's going to be a sensation. I really do. What do you think will happen with Schweinsteiger, Yash Patti? I think he'll be sold. I don't think he should. I think Schneiderlin was very poor in taking the ball off the back four, and we need somebody to do that. And you can't rely on Carrick to do it every game, because he's on the, you know, he's not young anymore. He's going to pick up injuries like he has done. But Mata and Carrick have combined really well. And to be fair, that's a brilliant ball. Brilliant ball. Absolutely superb ball by Mata. He's got, I think it was Darmian in behind. It's a poor ball, that is, though. But Mata's picking the gaps. But the difference from the first half to the second half, and the thing we need to learn from a tactical point of view, is that when you've got Zlatan in the team, you can't hit the ball long. You've got to work it different ways. You've got to mix it up. You've got to put it high. You've got to feed him into the feet. You've got to get it out wide. This second half, it's been quite easy just to know, because Galatasaray have played a high line in this game, that with Rashford on, you can just knock the ball over the top. And Galatasaray have, we're being made to look a very good team in this half. I mean, even Lingard's just running around with it passing, because Galatasaray, I don't know what their squad is, but they don't seem to have made many substitutions, and they look very, very tired. Brandon Coombs, where do we find a young Carrick, Mark? Exactly. It's a very, very good point. It's exactly what we need. Mata is the man, says Live Forever. Mata's brilliant. He's making a difference, says Karina Cormack. Are you watching the match on the TV, Arav? Yes, I am. Galatasaray. I think there's a few Galatasaray fans on there. I've enjoyed it. I thought you were much the better team in the second half. In the first half. And second half, I think our freshness has really helped. Muller 91. Long live the United Stand. I really hope so. It's always going to be reliant on you lot. Don't disrespect Lingard again, says Woods M42. Don't It's disrespecting somebody saying that they're not good enough. It's all about opinion. If you like somebody, I'm not going to tell you you're wrong. I just don't rate Lingard as a first team player for Manchester United. Squad player, maybe. I still don't think he's good enough to get on our bench when you look at the amount of quality we've got. My starting 11 for Bournemouth would be, and the signing will be done by then, I would go De Gea in goal. I'd still put Darmian at right back because Valencia's just not a right back. He'll cost us goals. I'd put Luke Shaw at left back. I'd play Bailly and Smalling. I'll play Carrick as the holding midfielder. I'll play Pogba as the box-to-box. I'll play... I don't know whether I would play, but he will play. So Rooney number 10. Mkhitaryan on the right. Marshall on the left. Zlatan up front. And then my bench would be... It's got to be Romero. Daley Blind, because he can play in a number of positions. Fosu Mensah, because he can play in a number of positions. So that's 3. Schneiderlin, because he can come in to the midfield. Schweinsteiger will be sold, which is a shame, but I would have him. Herrera, so that's 5. Memphis 6, Rashford 7. That's your 7 subs. You know, Lingard's not there, and that's forgetting the likes of Young, Fellaini, Mata. Did I say Mata on the? But you know what I mean. It's people going about Lingard. He's going to really struggle to get on the bench if everybody's fit. I don't think people realise how big our squad is with experienced players. I mean, Valencia wasn't even on my bench there. That's what I mean. There's going to be good players involved there. Jones, Rojo. You know, they're not even going to make the bench. I don't know whether people have understood that yet. I can pick you a team, and Lingard's not even on the bench, and it's not even picking on him. He's just not going to be on the bench. But it's a good thing because it just shows the quality we've got. Cringe carpet. What happened to Romero? Nothing. He just sits on the bench, which is where he should be. You've got David De Gea in goal. You don't need anybody else. Jazz Rupp Skills wants a shout out. Carrick haters need a lesson in football, says Serjan. They do. 2-1. No matter. Valencia owns the right back, says Gino. He probably will start as a right back, but one thing I do is I make a decision. It's based on many years of watching and playing football. And Valencia's had a hat-trick of assists today, and that's absolutely super, brilliant. Let's all have a party about it. But also, if you've been watching him at right back for the last couple of years, his positional sense is dog shit, and it will cost us goals. And I don't want to see that happen. I like Daley Blind. I've got nothing against him. I think as a squad player, he's brilliant. But if you put him at centre-back, he'll cost us goals, and we won't win the title. And what we're aiming to do is win the title. And I'm just watching Rashford and Memphis play 1-2s, and he has been absolutely superb, Rashford. Really, really good. Mata's loving it. Little dinky 1-2s there. Puts a good cross in. No one's in the box because Lingard's ran out of it. I don't know what he's doing. Football juice. Don't worry, Mark. I'm here now. Brilliant. Tom Caffrey involved in a hangout. Oh, the private hangout. Yeah. Oh, it'd be wrong of me to shout. I know who the winners are. I will tell you who the winners are live now, but I will have to do it again on another thing because it's not fair. They might not be watching. They've all had an email though. So the winners of we did a competition. We're approaching the last few minutes, so we may as well do it. We did a competition on Thursday, and the link is in the video description. It was about having a private hangout, 9 of you with me for an hour, bit of a Q&A and a chat. Loads of you applied to do it. The winners are Owen Nicol, Ibra Marino 1, Dave, who is Dave Red in a bed, Lennon McCartney, Jamie Gargano, Josh Robson, Lorenzo Rodriguez, Ross Harrington, and Natalie Clare. You are the 9 winners. If you are interested in doing those hangouts, we're probably going to do them again. So just drop us an email. The video's in the description. As many people will know, the United Stand is done part-time. It's done in our spare time. And I think it's done fantastically well over the last 18 months, from nothing to where it is now. We've had a lot of people in the United Arena, the channel's accounts, who just don't like us because I don't know why. And we've always grown, and it's all down to you lot. So it is done in our spare time. If anybody wants to contribute, help us get better equipment, stuff like that, we've got a Patreon page now, video description. If you want to contribute, that's fantastic. It helps us. And for those who get involved in United Stand Extra Time, the video link is in the description as well. We'll be doing one of those tomorrow night after the Sunday show. Sunday show starts at 8:30, and I'm live at 10:30 tomorrow morning with a review of all the transfer news. But I will be doing my live match reaction about half an hour after this, when I've had time to think and I've seen what Jose said. So you can join me for that. But I thoroughly enjoyed the watch along. With a couple of minutes left, I've thoroughly enjoyed it. It's been amazing the amount of people we've had involved, and hopefully we've attracted a load of new people. We've had 3,300 likes on a video, which we've never had before. I don't think we've been above 2,000 before. So to do that is beyond ridiculous, and it would be wrong, and it wouldn't be me to spend a little bit of time just saying how fantastic you lot are, how important this channel is becoming, how it really is just about fans' opinion. And the bigger it gets, at some point the media will have to go, that's huge, that really works. Why does that work? Well, it works because it's just fans talking about football and actually being given somewhere to talk about football where their opinion actually matters. So big thanks to you lot, you've been absolutely brilliant. Joshua Chapman says man of the match. It's got to be Rashford. Got to be Rashford? It's got to be Rashford. Valencia pushed him. 3 assists is very good. But we were 2-1 down at half time. We're 5-2 up now. We've scored 4 goals, and most of them have been to do with, or partly to do with, Marcus Rashford. Absolutely sensational half. I think if you're clever, you might say Carrick, but I even so, I still think Carrick. Cuddly Bear, Mark, do I have to pay for extra time, or can I have a trial without buying? Yep, the trials, if you sign up for extra time, it's a 14-day trial. It's a couple of pounds a month to do it, and it's all extra optional content that we do. We tend to just do because not many people, well, I say not many people, I think there's about 100 people who've subscribed. So we tell them when we do the video, and the live comments box is far less busy, and we don't just talk about football, we'll talk about films and current affairs, and it's just more a relaxed environment really, and it's going really well. We only did it as a 2-week trial. I think it finished on Thursday, and people want us to keep doing it. So if you want to do it, it's great, but it's not, the watch along's never going to go there. Everything on here will always be free and everything like that. It's just extra content. So if you want to get involved, you can. The video description has the link to that. A lot of you saying well done, it's been brilliant, thank you, I genuinely mean it. I don't mind doing this, I enjoy doing it. The United Stand's much bigger than me or anybody else involved in it, and I genuinely do say we can't do it without you lot, and it is all about you lot. You've made it today. You said you wanted to, we normally have a guest doing that. You said just do it on your own, Mark, with us on the video description. We've done that. I think it's great. Dan, how do I join extra time? Hopefully it's in the video description, mate. Let me have a look. Yeah, it's the second paragraph in the video description. Just go to the link there and it'll show you how to do it. Is it X-rated? There's a bit of swearing. We can say what we want on there. So some things that we've stopped talking about, we do talk on there a little bit. We'll answer any question on there. That's the basic thing. I throw it to you. I don't know. Watch-alongs, for me personally, it's easier if I've got a guest there where that United Stand emblem is, because it allows me to go to the toilet. It allows me to have a little break and do a bit of Twitter. And that helps. But it's full-time. I don't mind doing it in the future if it's just us. Probably won't be all the time because it's a big ask to just talk for 2 hours. But we do listen to you. And the one thing about the watch-alongs is you've got to get the content. You've got to get the interactive stuff with you lot, which is really important. I'll stay for a few minutes. I'll stay till about 8:30. Standout performance for me was Rashford. I loved the fact that Zlatan was standing up and applauding Rashford when he ran through, skipped past the player, and then it was a penalty. I thought that was absolutely brilliant. Keelan Johnson says Lingard's rubbish. A lot of you are dropping off now, you cheeky gets. I did say so for a minute. But it's been a fantastic show. Rojo and Jones kept a clean sheet. Maybe they can be our starting centre-backs. I miss Alex, says Damien Gayson. I mean, we can get Alex on. I think Alex would be very good. I don't think he's ever done a match watch-along. I think he'd be very good. Carrick made all the difference. He's old but still class, says Tim Murphy. Comment of the night. I love the Mark the most, says the Red Devil. Thank you. When will Pogba finally be announced? Oh, Pogba's crept up again. No way before Monday, I don't think. Well played United and well played United Stand, says Live Forever. Well played to all you lot. You are the United Stand. They've got Fellaini talking on the after-match thing. That's how bad MUTV is. They've gone and got Fellaini to talk first. I mean, Jesus Christ. He's probably the only one who do it. He's probably there with his hand up. I'll do it. Everyone else is off for a drink. Please let me do it. Lots of positives, says Dave Polton. I think there is. I thought Mata was great in that number 10 position, which is really interesting. Valencia man of the match for me, says Goosey. Rooney better than Mata by a distance, says Connell. There are those who just absolutely love Rooney. I respect that. Great show, man. Really enjoyed it, says Brendan. Keep spreading the word about the United stand. I mean, the watch along's good, but I think our better content is the other stuff. But I like doing the watch along. One request, says Submission Society. Yeah, ask it. I'll keep scanning down. Will Jose be pleased, says English James 07. I think he will. He's won a game. Read my comments, says P Gaming. I've just read it. I presume there's another one further down. Worst player today, says Riddy Man. It's a good question. Schneiderlin maybe. Didn't take his opportunity, did he? Dan, hey Mark, it says the video isn't on my country. United stand extra. I'm trying to sort that out with YouTube. There are certain countries that extra time's not available, and it's really frustrating. We're trying to get them to add it to. I know there's people like Malaysia, Indonesia, Germany. It's ridiculous. We are trying to sort it out. It's not us. I'm sorry, but Fellaini played 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10, says George Jackson. Probably did. I thought Galatasaray were really poor second half. But the point remains, if Fellaini played 8 out of 10, I wouldn't even have him on my bench. So he shouldn't be anywhere near the United starting team. And if you do, you won't win the title. That's as simple as that. Do you like our white kit? I do. I'm just not convinced about the shoulders. I think it looks a bit rubbish. Burn the Deadwood, then we'll be good, says Bova. Rashford is like Martial. They run at players. It's very exciting. Very exciting. Mark, more goals in this game. Yeah, loads of goals. Why play in Sweden? But I don't know, but we needed that game. I know the attendance wasn't great, but we did need that game. Zlatan made us win from the bench. Superb watch along, says Really Man. I really enjoyed it, you've made it, so that's great. Bay, my man of the match. Good shout, Toki. Not a bad shout at all. Carrick made all the difference. Burn the Deadwood. Mata looked sharp. Rooney looked shit, says Jakar. What do you think the best goal was? Gazad. Rahul says we got more viewers than another channel. That's great. That's all down to you lot. Fantastic. What do you think about Memphis? Memphis Gaming says, didn't really get that long, did he? He did okay. But you know what, Memphis Gaming? The problem with Memphis is, even if he'd scored a hat-trick in that half an hour, he's got a massive problem scoring goal to get Martial or Mkhitaryan out. Reagan Jones, I'll give you a little airtime at the end because you've been saying it a lot. What's the Nottingham kits like this year? Don't know. Don't live in Nottingham. Haven't lived there for about 15 years. Zlatan only took 3 minutes to get his goal. Brilliant. Okay, we'll kill it. We're going to kill it there because the viewers are dropping. I need to go and get something to eat. I'm going to reconvene at 9 o'clock for a match reaction. I'll put a stream out in about 5 minutes. You can go on the live comments before. So 9 o'clock, I want to watch what Jose's got to say. I want to have a little think. I want to have something to eat. 9 o'clock, I'll do my live match reaction. You've been all superb. Absolutely superb. Can't thank you enough. Watch-alongs, United stand, it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. Keep spreading the word. Keep telling your mates. Keep subscribing, liking the videos. And who knows where it can go, but it can't go anywhere without you lot, and you will be coming along for the journey. Superb, absolutely brilliant, really enjoyed it. 5 goals, everything's looking good. Pogba's going to sign, got some great players, and yeah, everything to be positive about. Brilliant. Thanks everybody for watching. Speak to you all soon, and I will be back in half an hour. See me in half an hour.